Good evening, colleagues. Welcome to today's PESP NS National Arts Council PESP 6 funding seminar. My name is Mr. Romeo Ramwada. I'm the president of the South African Arts and Culture Aid Forum, where I'm also specializing with the funding and fundraising in the organization. So I'm not alone here today. I'm joined by our National Coordinator, Mr. Baledi Machaka, who will also be assisting us in terms of managing this meeting and also in terms of dealing with some of the issues regarding the issues of funding, as he's also dealing with that aspect. We also want to introduce one of the leaders who's also an expert in funding, who will be working alongside me today, Mr. Tami Kambongo, a well-respected theater practitioner, an arts activist and actor, who will also be sharing insights into the funding seminar. So the reason we're doing this, colleagues, is because, as you are aware that, for those who are not aware, the National Arts Council, they've taken very long this year to announce the funding call, which resulted in us just going to do a sit-in in the NAC. I was part of that. Leader Tami, Wumam Spongile Mgoma, Leader Palisa, Leader Mpo, Leader Mtetwa, Leader Bafana, Leader Tsepo, and others, because we felt like it's unacceptable that the funding can have not been announced. The funding call has not been announced around this time in September, after 9 months, because we do understand ourselves that issues of funding are very important for allowing artists to be able to work. So that's why we did that sit-in with these leaders that I've just mentioned. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome the chairperson of SACAIF in Gauteng, Leader Bafana, who was championing that particular sitting, as I've indicated. So we're not going to talk too much about politics today, colleagues of the industry. We want to focus this meeting directly in terms of funding, how to help each other access this funding. And can everybody who join the meeting please Zoom? So don't Zoom, and please mute so that we don't disrupt the speakers. Yeah, so the way we have structured this meeting, colleagues, it's going to be very practical, more practical, instead of just talking and presenting. It's going to be practical. So we understand, especially now, we have also taken note that some of the artists after the sit-in are receiving the feedback letters from the NAC due to various reasons. And we've encouraged artists to say, don't just take the letters they are, just go through your system, your GMS, check everything, check if you have attached, check your letters in terms of dates, if they are fine, so that you are sure, because you might find out there's an error because the people are also working under pressure. So what we like about this process is that it's a good process because you see the NAC has not started with adjudication. So when they do things at this point, it's great because if you are being declined wrongly, you are able to challenge it and write back to them. I know at some point we also declined. Then we wrote back to the NAC to say, no, but we have attached everything. They check and they realize an error. Then they took the application for the adjudication. So don't be frustrated. Those whose things are in order. They have not started with the adjudication. They're just working so that they can catch up with the time, which is good for those whose projects will be evaluated and funded. So, colleagues, I also know there's some of the leaders. I saw Leader Mwafrika here, who's also part of the industry leaders. Welcome. So I'm not going to waste any time. I was still going through the process of saying, or this particular seminar will go in the form of, we're going to be more practical. So we are going to discuss issues of compliance. If you saw our advert, we're going to discuss issues of, let me just check these notes here, 1 minute. Those who are trying to call us when we're in the meeting, they'll forgive us, we'll attend them later. So the meeting will cover the NAC PESP 6 compliance, which I've gone through them. It's a bit different this time around. There will be issues of navigation of the NAC GMS system, because all the time they always adjust the system according to the funding calls. We'll also deal with the issue of how you put your proposal in the system, because the NAC funding application is different from the MGE, because you don't necessarily put in a proposal, but there's a way you have to put your concept there. Also, we'll look into the issue of the effective proposal drafting, but basically this will be very practical. But to be honest, I think the NAC has made this process very easy this year, because when I went through the GMS, I saw in terms of where you are putting in the information of your projects, funding information is straight to the point, quick. They reduced the tabs and removed a lot of unnecessary issues. I think, colleagues, we need to also give credits to these people where it's due, because we are fighting with them, but where they are doing good, we must also appreciate them. I think there's somebody who's sharing their screen there. My brother, can you remove your screen? Your video is on there. I see you are sharing. Yeah, let me see this. Maybe I can be able to. Okay. Yeah, so well, after that, we are going to then engage with those who've got challenges and so on. But the whole point of this process is to help artists to overcome challenges, and assist artists to succeed, especially in the PESP call that is coming, because PESP call, it's a call that has got good budgets, and we feel that if we assist each other, people are going to be able to succeed. And also, we've taken a resolution as the SACAIF and South SIF and the leaders who were in the sitting to say, now that we've got only 3 weeks, we can't waste time. We need to be on the ground, online, physical, and helping artists to want to apply. Because some of the things that people are declaring about, they can be avoided. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to give Leader Tammy to go through the process of the adjudication and of the compliance. He's going to speak around compliance. Then when he's done speaking around compliance, then I will then go to the GMS. I think I'll need to log in here so that when he speaks around compliance, you are able to see these GMS issues that he will be speaking around, because this compliance will go directly in line with the GMS. Let me just log in here quickly so that, yeah. Leader Tammy, the floor is yours. Let me try to share this screen first, so that we can be on the same page. Yeah. Let me also welcome other leaders of the industry that I might not have seen. So can colleagues see our test screen there?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you, leader.
Yes, we can
colleagues,
see.
we are going to be very practical. So I don't know, Leader Time, or perhaps we must start by showing colleagues. But I'm sure colleagues, they know how to log in, to register on the GMS and open an account. It's very straightforward. Once you find this NAC.praxis, which is also on the guidelines and on the NAC website and portal, you just have to register and have an account before you can even use this online system to apply. But it's very, very user-friendly, because people can also help you from a distance. Yeah, but I think let me allow Leader Tammy to take the stage. You're welcome, Leader. You can take the stage.
Thank you very much, President Romeo. And also thanks to the leadership of SACAIF for always organizing these sessions, you understand, because I think they are very important to assist the industry, you know. And I like what you said in the beginning, Uguti. In this platform, it's a totally different engagement. It's not about politics. It's not about who's right, who's wrong, but the mission of this, you understand, is to assist artists to understand the processes and also how to apply. Because bear in mind, amongst the attendees are the people that have applied, and there are people that have never applied, and it's going to be their first time to apply. There are those that have been applying and have been rejected. There are those that used to get, and we understand that they are rejected. So it's a mixture. So I think our presentation will make a balance. And you also mentioned something about the rejection letters that are given to people. So NAC, let me start. The process of adjudication is divided into two processes. The first stage is the stage whereby when you send the application, it goes into the NAC administration. It does not go to the panel adjudication, the people that will look at the proposal. And their job is to go through the section 1, which is the compliance documents, to see if everything is in order before they take it into the adjudication panel. Like I'll make a typical example. If they feel maybe the ID copy that you've submitted, it's outdated, and then automatically they disqualify you, and your application does not go into the adjudication panel. Or let's say you've got a reference letter that is not dated or signed, and then it means your application won't go through to the panel. That's why the president in the beginning, he was saying the NAC hasn't started, because this process of adjudication of compliance, it's done by NAC before even the adjudication panel comes in. And President, I was looking at the agenda. Maybe we need to think about, you understand, how we are dealing today. But on my side, I'm going, as you said, focus on the compliance. And maybe later on, President and the leadership of SACAIF, you can decide, maybe for today, do we go into making sure that many artists are clear in terms of compliance, are clear, as President, you are saying, to navigate, you understand? Because I feel, Uguti, as an industry, we also need to spend some quality time on these compliance issues. And I think maybe my presentation will cover quite a lot of those things, but maybe let's see how it goes. And then maybe earlier on next week, we understand even Monday or something, we can have a detailed one where we go step by step, but I'll be guided by you. So let me start by saying, one of the advice that I always give many people that are applying, because I do assist quite a number of people in applying, I always say you need to apply. If there is an opportunity of you applying as an individual, and also applying as an organization for two separate projects, it gives you a chance, you understand, of more chance. I'll make a typical example. In the one that recently, the one that we are receiving a rejection letter, I applied for a project as an individual, which is maybe a capacity building, and I applied a theater project with a new company that we just started, we understand. And today, the new company that started received the rejection letter. But the one that I've applied as an individual, which is totally different, it has not been, I haven't received a rejection letter. So because also in the guideline, in the advert, it will say that only an application will be supported from both natural person, which is an individual, and an organization. So I always encourage abantu to get more chances. We understand that it's quite tricky when you just apply with only one project, whether it's an individual or organization. It's not giving you more chances of getting the funding. But maybe I will elaborate later on that. It's something that is allowed. It's not against the law. It's not criminal. You understand that you are giving yourself more chances of receiving the funding, because when one is not successfully, and then you can hope on the other one. So when the NAC makes call, there are two important.
No, the agenda, obviously, we're going to go through the guidelines as it is, all the whole guideline. And then we're also going to go through the GMS. In terms of the GMS, we'll be doing a live application, which I will do, which I've prepared. Yeah, so
Okay.
I think because now the GMS itself, it starts with compliance. That's why you coming at the compliance stage. Then after you are done, I'll quickly go through the guidelines. Then after we're done with the guidelines, then we work through the compliance, where also there will be an application process. We'll be going through it in a form of applying, sort of, in a way. Thank you.
Perfect, President. Thank you very much. That's why I love SACHIVE. SACHIVE is very practical, regardless of how many people trying to criticize. So when NAC makes this call, there are two important documents that most people, even those who are having experience, don't usually go through. The first one is the document that will say NAC advert. And then the second one, it will be the one that goes in terms of guidelines. Let me make a typical example with the one that says NAC advert. In the NAC advert, it will tell you what kinds of projects that are supported. Obviously, the NAC is dealing with 7 disciplines, right? You can be in craft, you can be in dance, you can be in literature, you can do multidiscipline, which is a mixture of everything. You can be music, you can visual art, you can be in theater. President, I've noted something here, maybe we will deal with later. The NAC, in the NAC advert, since they are very strict when it comes to compliance, on their advert, they've just mentioned musical theater and not mentioned theater. We understand that because it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be theater because musical theater falls under theater. So maybe that's a mistake on their side. Instead of saying musical theater, they needed to say theater, because also in all the documents of the NAC, it will have that 7 thing. It's just one slight compliance, because they has bathanda upanisha artists. And then the very interesting thing that they've done now in their advert, they are saying what kinds of project that they will support, what kind of project they will support, and they've done a list in this NAC advert to saying Uguti, it could be a creation, it could be a composition, it could be workshops, it could be showcases, it could be exhibition, it could be script writing. This one, it was kind of new for me. I didn't pick up in the previous one. And also they are mentioning residencies, they are mentioning performances and other art-related activities. So it already gives you a sense of what kind of projects that you can apply for in this NAC. And then another important thing that a lot of people are missing, President, when they apply, NAC, just like any other funding bodies, they've got the areas that they specialize. I'm always looking for this one because you will find there's a shortage. It says in the advert, right? Applicant presenting content and offering training in South African indigenous art forms and intellectual property are encouraged to apply. Because here, the NAC or the funder is giving us a guidance. There is a shortage of applications that are teaching people about intellectual property, maybe under capacity building. They are desperate looking for that. There is a need for training in South African indigenous art form. We understand we should take that also, we understand, as a guidance. NAC is telling us something. And then, President, when you open to the GMS, it will take you straight into, there are different sections in the application process. There are about 5 sections, right? The section 1, which is the compliance documents, whereby you load all the documents that are needed. This is where most of the people get disqualified. And just like as President saying, the NAC has made some adjustment. So those who have applied in the past, they mustn't go to the GMS with Ingondo to say, I already know. There are adjustments that are already made, and we're going to look at that. We understand that. So in section 1, they've asked a full CV of individual. We understand or 2 full CVs of organization members, whether the lead and someone in the office. And please note the difference of the language. They are not asking for a biography. They are not asking for a profile. They are asking for a full CV. And I know there are big differences, and a lot of people might have a different view. A full CV will be a full CV that gives a sense of, obviously, a CV artist is totally different with the CV ShopRite, because your CV as an artist should be showing your activities that you are involved in the industry. We understand, especially, I want to emphasize this thing, especially on the field that you are applying. Let's say, for example, you are applying for capacity building. In your CV, in your full CV, at least there must be aware that we see, Uguti, you've got experience of running capacity building programs. Let's say you're applying to run a festival. In your CV, you understand that there must be something that will show, Uguti, you've got an experience of working in the festival environment. Or if you are writing a theater production, as a writer, we understand that at least in your CV, it must show, Uguti, you've got an experience. And I know this because Nati, it also affects us regardless. Like, for example, I'm an actor by profession. The full CV that I have when I want to apply for arts administration position, it's totally different to the CV that I submit as an actor, because my CV as an actor just focus on my acting thing. There's nothing about writing, there's nothing about directing, there's nothing about positions that I've held, you understand? There's nothing about too much education in arts. So I want to emphasize this thing. Please look at your CVs and make sure it's not a biography. It's not a profile. It's not just an actor CV. We understand it's a full CV. And also in your CV, make sure it covers the areas that you want to apply the project, so that they truly understand this one is an artist. I mustn't assume just because I'm Tami or I'm Romeo, they will know my specialties. The CV needs to be a passing point, you understand, for me, but okay, the passing. And then the second one that they always ask in terms of the compliance, it's a certified ID. We understand for individual, and then for organization, they will want a lead applicant and also one of office bearers. And this one, they specify, Yokuti, your CV must not be later than 12 months. In the past, I, as Tami, regardless of the experience that I've had with applying for the NAC, I have made some silly mistake whereby I upload an older one. I personally have done that. We understand. Hence, now the new strategy, I will say, for each and every call, if it means I must go to the police station and update and do the most recent one to be safe. We understand that I do that. So I will encourage you to make sure as much as banika 12 months, the sooner the better, so that clean. And then the third one is the one that they ask about the previous work. I said in the beginning in the CV, if you are doing capacity building workshop, in your previous work, surely there should be workshops whereby you were part of running workshops or you were doing something. If you are applying for a festival, if you've done other festivals, surely in the previous work, we should see that. If you are applying for a theater, we should see the work that previously you have done, you understand, in that field, so that they see Uguti, the CV that this person has uploaded. It speaks also in terms of the experience of what they do. Obviously, there are those who are arts administrators. You understand that maybe in your CV, you will show the projects that you've been part of. You understand? And then same applies in that thing. In the previous work, you don't have to put one picture, another picture, and you can make a nice collage of the thing, combine pictures, you understand? And they've also specified here, Uguti, wherever possible, previous work should be dated. I will make a typical example. If I was part of a previous festival, a festival that was happening last year, I can put together the pictures from that festival and mark, Uguti, this is Imbewu Cultural Festival happening on this date, you understand? So that they get a sense, Uguti, this person has been involved in the industry. Some people are just putting the dates and not checking Uguti. They are asking wherever possible, please state Uguti date, when was this activity, so that the adjudicators can have a sense. And then another document that they will want, it's a proof of bank account. Obviously, a proof of bank account, nowadays, you can even source it online, or others, they go to the bank and ask the bank and a senator to generate that letter. As long as that proof of bank in the name of account holder, let's say, because in the past, it has happened with some people, they will put the account and not put their account. That's automatically disqualification on its own. Because I can apply as a Tami Akambongo and then the bank account ka sipose to Mbongo. We understand that because you are calling a disaster for yourself. So if I've applied as Tamsang Hawel Mbongo, and in the application, I don't make a mistake and say I'm going to apply as Tami Akambongo Manzana. That's my stage name. That's not my real name. My real name is Tamsang Hawel Mbongo. So that when I insert my copy of the ID, it matches with the name that I've given. You understand that? Because that's a legal name. So sometimes abanye abantu benza a mistake. So the account, if the company name is Akambongo Foundation, so the bank account, it can't be the account number Katamsanga Mbongo, because I did not apply as an individual. I applied as an organization. And most people, even the leaders in the sector in the past, they have applied with their PDY and want to insert a document, ID number, because what in a PDY, I'm an individual. It does not work like that. You will be automatically disqualified. Obviously, with the bank, it will come with a branch code and an account number. And this letter must be within 3 months. We understand. But ignore that 3 months. If it means, Uguti, I'm applying today, let me get the letter of today. So that NAC problems. It has happened in the MGE. We understand about delay, izinto and all. Be on the safe side. I encourage you to go and generate the letter as soon as possible now and add. And then another thing that they ask is 2 reference letters of reference. This one, President, I want to emphasize, Kakul. A lot of artists do a mistake. As artists, we need to learn, Uguti. When you're asking people a reference letter, you should send them a formal email. a formal email that will tell them, Ukuti, Yabo, can you please write a reference letter for me? I'm doing this project. The name of the project is this. The purpose of the project, we understand that I want to achieve. Obvious, I also banika song scope about the project that you want to do, so that the person that write a reference letter for you, they know what they are going to write. If I'm writing, like for example, I always ask is archive, because Ulita Romeo, especially when I apply for capacity building, because Ulita Romeo knows my involvement when it comes to capacity building. So the reference letter that I expect from Ulita Romeo, you understand, a capacity building, it's totally different from a reference letter that I can ask someone in the theater world. It's totally different from the reference letter that I can ask if I were to do a music festival. You understand? We make a mistake as practitioners and make Ukuti a reference letter as long as and dinner reference letter, that's it. I penally up. We understand the person that writes a reference letter must also speak to what you are applying for, to show Ukuti, yes, Utami unazo capacity ile way experience and knowledge of running capacity building, because we have worked with Tami on this project and on this project. If I'm applying for a festival, someone that writes a reference letter, they must say, Ukuti, I've got the skills and experience of running a festival. If I'm applying for a theater production, someone, they must speak to that. So our reference letter all the time, but then a blank approach, you understand? So it's important, Ukuti, even they say they need to validate your work. We understand an involvement in this area that you are working on. And another thing, they ask you for a detailed budget. Obviously, in the actual application that the president will go on section C, there is a budget terms. Other people, they make a mistake of not matching the detailed budget with the one that they do on section 5. So you insert the full budget. Like I will give a typical example. A lot of us were disqualified in MGE because they were saying you did not specify the number of jobs, right? A lot of people have many later. So in PESP, they are very, we understand, about too concerned about how many numbers. So you can't just say in your detailed proposal, Uguti actors, specify how many actors that you are going to get. We understand that because it goes to that number of jobs. I will make a typical example. If I'm doing a festival with 10 writers, and then I'm going to call again 10 directors to come and direct those shows, and then each production is going to have 5 actors, and then I summarize that number. Each show will have a stage manager. We understand in the breakdown, I also break down Uguti, how many people, so that at the end they see Uguti, oh, this project is going to generate 70 job opportunities or 4, and you need to do that in the detailed budget. And then they also want for the organization, obviously, a copy of organization certificate to show what your organization is registered. And those that are doing the capacity building, because that one is also tricky, because they are asking for a manual. We have a manual is sort of like what is it that you are going to do, a detail. If I'm doing an intellectual property or copyright or something amendment, you know, let me break it down with how am I going to do the program. If I'm doing acting workshop, it's not enough to say I'm doing acting workshop. What in acting workshop? We're going to cover a characterization. We're going to cover story building and give them the sense so that the person can see. When they look at your workshop manual, they look at your CV, they look at the previous work, but this person, it makes sense. They know exactly what they are doing. And your manual can't be just a smaller summary. You are not giving the adjudicator or someone else understand, to get an understanding what is it that they want to do. They also want CVs of the facilitators. Same applies with what I said before. I can't just, I'm doing a festival, a capacity building, but in the CVs, I'm just putting CVs of actors without experience of having the capacity building. It does not match. We understand. Please make sure in the capacity building, you will put people that you know, even in their CV, it speak on their experience when it comes to capacity building. If I'm doing a festival, people that we understand, if I'm putting adjudicators, we understand, so be clear on what you insert. You don't just put in J. Abanye in the past have succeeded, Bawina, Abanye, and Yazi. And then lastly, they also ask Uguti, you must specify, if you're doing a workshop, specify the number of people that you are going to train. We understand it's needed. Some people, they make it easy by making sure as part of that manual, all that information is there. And please make it clear so that umdafunda angazuti, but your application was nice, but you did not mention how many people that you were going to train. And then for those who are applying for theater, they will say attach a synopsis for a theater, and then for a literature, a creative writing project, you understand, which is totally different. I work in the theater. There are people that are still struggling to develop a synopsis. That's the reality. It's not a lie. You understand that? Please make sure a synopsis is not like a summary. A summary is totally different from a synopsis. It's not an outline. In a film, it's a totally different language. Please get someone that understands the language so that it becomes a synopsis of the play. In the past, you will remember they used to ask you, you can insert the full script. I'm glad that they've went that, because in terms of ukuba umsebenzi wabantu, it's easy, but with the synopsis, it's really reasonable. We understand. And lastly, President, before I hand over to you, they specify in that document, there are two new additions in this page. We understand there is a place where you can insert audio or video of your previous work. And I want to make a suggestion to those that will apply. If it means put together as actors, like for example, you've got a show reel, right? When people want to employ you, acting or agents or producers, you can send them a show reel. A show reel shows case or go to the different productions that you've worked with. Yeah, but if it means I'm in the capacity building, I've got numbers of different videos of the previous work that I'm doing. Let me do that, you understand? Upload it on YouTube or somewhere, and then make that link available. If you've got pictures, do pictures, make a nice video, you understand, a collage of your work, and then YouTube and put that link, because it will give you more chances, because they will see you really know what you are talking about. And then the second thing that they have specified when you upload, please ensure that the documents you upload are clear, especially the scanned ones. I know it myself, because in the past, I used to go to the internet cafe and scan, but the ID, you can't even see when it was certified. It is our own mistake. We understand. Uguti, we need to check to make sure. Uguti, I know a lot of artists, scanner is in the phone, and then it does not read that well. So make sure, Uguti, you are safe. If it means, Uguti, so that banga disqualify just because it was not clear. We understand, I'd rather be on the safe side. PESP, as the president was saying, if you apply for 70 jobs, it's up to 800,000 that you can apply. If you apply to create for 40 jobs, you can apply up until 500,000. But if you don't want to specify, because we understand that you don't know, you can apply up until 300,000. Please know your experience, know your knowledge, and if we are feel ukuthi mna ndisafika or ndiyaqala ukwenza ndifuna nje 150, it's fine. It does not mean ukuthi you must push and get 300. Based on your experience based on what you've submitted on your documents. Like, for example, earlier on, I was saying this new company that I've applied with, it was declined because I thought myself, let me not apply by my foundation because I've been applying. Let me apply with something. Maybe this if I applied with the company that already have a track record, it was going to be better. I don't know. We understand. So maybe as this new company, I should have started smaller and getting bigger. I don't know. So as in closing, as much as president, we are saying compliance, it's important not as the artists, we need to equip ourselves so that later on, when we challenge the system to say, you've declined me because you said I did not, you understand, you have that proof, because you can appeal. And you are right when you were saying in one of the group, those who feel they are disqualified just in G, they must immediately, before that even process start, of adjudication, so that may be right. From my side, President, I think I wanted to come to this session and just deal with compliance. And the Khabuli it does not mean what I'm saying it's 100%. It's just an experience because now I'm one of the people that apply, but I'm hoping this kind of information will strengthen those Yavasana applyayo kwatin. We all don't know what is the winning formula. Sometimes you apply, you get. Sometimes you don't, you apply, you are not getting. Even us, with the experience that we have of the proposal, I've assisted people around maybe 9. But out of 9, only 2 of them have received a declining letter. Must I be demotivated? No. But I'm interested to find out what is it, so that the projects that were disqualified, if I can get a reason to say, in terms of compliance, you did not, I can assist them to reapply with PESP. It's not end of the world. There are things politically or strategically that we will fight with them, with an NAC to say, come on board, be aware of A and B. But this platform tonight, it's not that one. This one is about how do we assist many artists to receive funding. Ndiyabulela kakhulu President for the platform. Ndiyabulela kakhulu kwi-SAICAV Gauteng for that platform. I encourage many artists to apply. Please seek assistance from others. If I trust President Romeo, before I send my application, maybe compliance, we should have a band that will assist us. But go through a platform. Documents before we ask, because sometimes with technology, I can upload a document. I'm 100% sure I've uploaded the correct one, or to find out it's a mistake. We do human errors. Get someone that you trust to say, please go through this. Even if indus ajonge athi i-ID yam is it certified before wathini, to make sure ungarashi uyifaka. The earlier you do these things, the better. And don't rush to apply. You want to do everything together. Like, as much as I'm experienced, myself, I spend time and say, today I'm only focusing on reference letter. Today I'm uploading. You understand? I'm not rushing to finish section 1, section 2 in one day, because those things I need time to think really through and keep going back to their advert and guidelines and find a way to what language I'm going to use. In that way, you are going to find a winning formula. Good luck to everyone that is applying. Back to you, President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbongo, for a very comprehensive presentation. I've seen hands, people clapping hands already. No, you dealt with a lot of issues, and I'm happy that you also touched on the issue of the guidelines, so that I don't have to waste, take too long on it, because we need to get into the actual GMS as well. No, but you did a great work, and we appreciate your time and for always being available. And you also challenged me, because the same day the call was out, you wanted the letter. I say, hey, this man is moving. Yeah, so I realized that what Leader Tami is saying is correct, colleagues. You see, colleagues, we are fighting with the system, but there are rules and regulations that are also done to protect all of us, so that things can move smoothly. We all, as artists, we are not, we are more talented, we are more creative. If you are a visual artist, you are good with your drawing, or you are a good dancer, you are a good actor, because these are our work, if you look at it, is more practical than physical. That's why as archive we always fight for capacity building. So we know the issues of administration, they kill us sometimes, you know. So I remember we once put in an application for archive. We helped so many people, their stuff was fine. Then we also received this letter at around this time at some point. Then the only thing we did wrong was to attach one letter of reference. You see. And then unfortunately, there's nothing we could have done because I was saying what other people are declined are not worth the second chance, you know. So I think for us as artists, let's take issues of compliance very serious. Before you submit your application, the time is right. This particular time, they did not imagine you are being declined. They have not even evaluated your concept, your idea. It's not nice, because now you are never given a chance. Mara is because of just maybe 7 things that Leader Tami mentioned in terms of compliance. So we're doing this webinar to fix those things, colleagues. We want to make sure more people now, when they move to PESP, and we don't have time, let's also not complain about the closing date because we're fighting for the funding to come out early. So, colleagues, without any waste of time, I'm going to go quickly through the guideline, and then I'm going to go through a proper application process. You know, look, we've got serious people here we know who are great artists of our time. But you see, that's why we're saying when you are declined, don't just comment on Facebook or WhatsApp. Please go in the GMS and check if these things that Leader Time was talking about, all of them, they are right. Check the dates in your letters. Check the signatures. I think I want to show colleagues something. This is the letters that we do as archive for the people who ask us for letters, for example. I think this is not the right one. I just want to make sure I attach the right one. This is the kind of a letter that will normally do. You see, let's take ourselves serious. When we are acting, ne, and when we are singing, it's beautiful. People like it, we're neat, we're on point. So I have experienced the challenge with artists that they just, when they are doing their own application, they are quick, rush. They just get letters which are not clear. They don't go through. Your letter must be like this. It must have a letterhead. It must have something like to whatever, how you write it's up to you. National Arts Council for date. It must have a date, because remember, they must know if it's within 12 months. It must have the subject. So if you're applying as an individual, we will write normally a letter of endorsement for Romeo on what. You see, then we write the content. Then we'll write this is actually something that we did today just for this session. So this Sibukeng Visual Arts Exhibition is a concept we did for this training. Ne? So the letter is talking to that concept that I'm going to present on the GMS. Mara, what I want you to see with this letter, ne? It has got the date up there. I just want to find a way to move it across. It has the date. Okay, it's moving. It has the date. It has got the content, which is clear and detailed. And the name of the person there is there who's doing this thing. So this particular letter must be signed. You see, if this letter is submitted like this without a signature, then this letter is going to be disqualified. So this letter needs to be signed. Okay, colleagues, I think I've got a signed letter. I don't want to use a letter that is not signed. Let's try to find the one that is signed. Or let me quickly just sign this one so that we're clear. So these are small things that are disqualifying our people, you see. Yeah, I think this thing is fine now. Yeah. Let me go back there. So those are small things that a lot of our people are being disqualified based on, because we also need to fight for the truth to say some of these things is our own fault that we need to fix ourselves. Yeah, as I was saying, this letter, as you see it must be signed. Because if it's not signed, they're not going to accept it. It must have an address. You see this letter, colleagues, has got an address at the bottom. How you put an address, some they put on the right on top as a letterhead. It must have an address, and it must have the contact number and email address. You see, it's also neat, it's clear, information is clear. So that is a letter of reference. Then you get 2 of those. So one thing that Leader Tamid mentioned is that the National Arts Council, colleagues, I just want to deal with this now. The National Arts Council, when you apply for funding, there is two ways you can apply. No, you mentioned, but you didn't go to this one. There's two ways you can apply. You can apply either as an individual, right? Or you can apply either as a company. So I want to show you the difference. What is the difference? Ne? You see, this particular sample applications we did, one is for individual, one is for company. In terms of the issues that Leader Tami was mentioning, because I don't want to come back here. This first one is a NAC PESP 6 company test 1. So this one, you're going to need 2 full curriculum CV, one for the main applicant and one for the lead applicant who must be playing a role in your project or a company director. Here you're gonna need, those are CVs, right? This here you're gonna need also 2 certified ID copies, which are not, which are within 12 months. The one certified ID copy of the lead applicant and one of the office bearer. These are minor things that people miss. Then this one Leader Tami dealt with the issue of the example of your work of the organization. Then the proof of the bank account, yes. Then you need 2 reference letters there as well. Then you need the copy of the organization certificate. You're gonna need the copy of the organization certificate there. Because we are using an organization to apply. Normally, I encourage people to say, always certify your paperwork, because in South Africa, we always certify documents, you know. Then you are going to need a synopsis if you are doing a theater project. But if you are putting in an application, you are not doing a theater project, just write on a Word document, make it big and say, not a theater project, and attach. Then capacity building, Leader Tami dealt with that, and detailed budget breakdown, which I will show. That is for a company application. Many people like this, but I find this application a bit complex compared to an individual, which is very quick and straightforward. So if you are doing an individual application, which is this one, you will see how many things they need. Very few things, and then you are done. They only need a proof of a bank account, your personal bank account, as Leader Tami said, within 3 months. Then they only need 2 letters of reference, Mara, talking about you as an individual, not your company. Then they need only one, your only ID copy within 12 months. They need your example of work. They need your CV alone. The rest is the same. Synopsis, detailed budget. Can you see it's quicker here? You don't have to get too many things, but people like the other one. So I just wanted to mention those things. Now I'm going to go quickly to the guidelines. I think it's important. Leader Paledi, please remember to add people. Many people is like hanging on this balcony there. We want to go through this process quickly. I hope I did not miss that. All right, yeah. Okay, let me just start by, okay, 1 minute, colleagues. Yeah, guidelines. All right. Just wanna exit here first. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go quickly through the guidelines. I'm not gonna repeat what Leader Tami has mentioned. He has spoken about this to say, when you actually, guys, you cannot apply for funding before going through a guidelines. It's the crisis for failure, because you don't know what the funder wants. The person with the money, they're telling you in their guideline, I want something like this. I want a car which is black, which has got this kind of tires, or I want a chair, or I want a painting of Mang Mang. So guideline job is to just guide you to say, this is what they want, and you don't have to, as much as you love yourself or you love your concept, just give people what they want, then you are fine. And here they're telling you, if you want to do things like indigenous programs, as Leader Tami said, and the intellectual property, those things, those ones that they emphasize means they are more important. They are things that they're actually looking for, you know. So who can apply for this funding, as I was talking about? It's individual and organization, you know. So let's say you are an individual, you can be a group of dancers, but you can't all apply. Okay, you can all apply for different projects, but you can still apply for a group of 15 dancers, but you being the main applicant, you know. So the applicants must be a South African citizen. So I see something different here this year, because They are also saying permanent residents and refugees. I don't think these were there in the past. But now they also accept that. So the project can be implemented. Your project can be implemented in South Africa, or you are doing a tour, Botswana, a border, and so on and so on. So here, if you are working for government, you can apply. You can only apply if you are practicing full time. So I just want to move forward here. So also, there are people who are working on those projects that are the stipends, that government, public expanded project, public expanded public work program, EPWP, community work program, internships, learnerships. Those people can apply as well. So if you want to apply with the company colleagues, they explain here you can apply from, it must be registered. It must be an NPC and a P2I Ltd, which is actually registered. Mara, here is where you're going to have a lead applicants who must be a South African. You can apply here if you don't have a South African person. So the same process, project can be applied locally and outside. Application organization led by individual working for government department that can apply as well. The same thing there. We're going to move fast here. So these are the disciplines. Leader Tammy spoke about them. You can apply for crafts, dance, literature, multidiscipline, music, theater, including musical theater. I find the NAC guidelines more explaining, because they also break it down. Because let's say, for example, you are the type of project. They say applicants are encouraged to apply for all type of arts and culture projects, such as creation. As long as you're an artist, you can apply for everything. They make sure music concert, teachings. This you can read for yourself. That Tammy dealt with them as well. For the sake of time, I want to make sure by 2 hours we're done. So yeah, how do you get assessed? You are going to be assessed based on artistic merit and innovation. So we can all do a visual arts project, but how does my visual arts project be? Okay, I once went to Northern Cape when we were doing the Sakai NAC help desk. Then there was a lady who was a visual artist who's doing visual arts. Then she was asking me, what can I apply for? I've never applied for funding. I said, you can apply for Northern Cape mural, something like that. Then she created a concept around that, the one that we discussed in the workshop, and she was funded about 500,000. I was surprised where she was asking me to help her with the sending in revision and what. But ever since she got money, she disappeared. You know, artists, they always disappear. So it's fine. But also, you see the problem with artists. We're gonna help you with these things now, or when you are funded, you want to know how to send the revision and what they require. Then when you get money, you don't say anything, you disappear, right? You think we're gonna ask for money. No, but we won't ask for money, because we just ask you to hire us to do some work. We won't do it for free if a person is funded. But now, when you finish the money, you finish the project, your staff is not telling, you're gonna call us back. Yo, I'm stuck here. They can't approve my report. You see, so those things are things that you must fix. So the artistic merit is that you make sure your project is unique, colleagues. We can all dance, we can all do music program. Why is your music training program unique? For example, government is supporting a lot of programs of women, programs of rural areas, townships, programs of hostels. You see, so you can all do the same program, like the festival that is happening in your locality. So look into those things, and make sure your proposal show how it's going to increase access to market. For example, if I'm doing a project in my village where there's no arts program, I'm gonna be creating platform for people there to enjoy arts and culture program. And how will it do audience development? You must show they wanna do that, and community reach, and this economic spin-off, because you know projects, they bring economic value, employ people locally, you buy from the local vendors and so on. So this particular 2.3 is important. It must be part of your proposal or write-up. You see, it must show your proposal that how does what's the ability of a project to transform the sector through increased employment. Show how will this project will increase employment in the locality you are doing, more particularly for vulnerable groups and indigenous and marginalized art forms. It means you can create an indigenous dance program in an area where we know, like those old people, they dance there in the community for free, but you create a program for them where they get paid for that job. So you must show how this project is also creating jobs. How does it focus on youth, women, and vulnerable groups? Which is also very important. So the sector experience is important, but the concept itself is more important. And your budget, as leader time said, must be within those categories. So these are the projects that are not funded. You must read about these ones. Purchasing books, interior, whatever design, purchasing equipment. But you must find your way around some of these things through work, So these budgets leader Tami spoke about. So it means now, when you are doing your budget breakdown, you must also show Uri on your detailed budget. Remember, in the NAC portal, you've got two budgets. You've got the budget that you must do for the portal because the portal wants a total budget. Let's say if I'm saying I'm going to employ 5 facilitators at the budget of 5,000 each. I'm not going to put 5,000 in the portal. I'm going to put 25,000, which is 5 times 5. Yeah, then you choose yourself here. You are not limited to say you can't do major project. But if you are starting, like Tami said, you want to do a small project, just apply for something that you can do. Mara will show you how do you show these things in your budget. Just show the jobs and everything. Don't give them a reason to decline you, so that when you challenge them, you've got a place to challenge them. Yeah. So this one, fortunately, the leader has dealt with that. You see, we're moving fast. Okay, so if you are going to do your report, what happens after you're funded? Then you want to do your report. They're saying if you're funded up to 350,000, you only need project income and expenditure report, which you can do yourself to say, okay, I was given 300. Okay, obviously they won't give you the total amount. I was given 250 to do my project. I spent my whole 250. This is the expenditure that I bought. I paid these people and so on and so on. But when you are paid 351 to 800, they're gonna need financial statements signed off by the accountant. Meaning, when you do your budget, you must allocate the money for the financial for the accountants. Accounting fee at least between 15 to 20,000 because some accountants are cheaper, some are expensive depending on where you are. Normally, the accountants, you can have a relationship with them. They can help you from all compliance that they need, tax clearance and so on, because they're gonna need these things. So this is the closing date, colleagues, 9 October at 8:11. Please, can people who are attending this platform not even touch the GMS on the 9th of October? We are here. Our Facebook pages are there. You have us on WhatsApp. When you are stuck, talk to us. In fact, we're working on creating some help desk to see how best we address some of the challenges. So I read this general information is very useful. Can everybody go through this, please? Because I'm not gonna go through it. We're chasing time now. So all your projects must be concluded by the 31st of March. So when we said we want people to get money by December, we're not saying people must just chow money for Christmas. No, start your processes in Christmas. You can get paid for build-up programs. You can be paid for planning and so on. But I always say to people, when you get money for project, do your project and finish, so that this is difficult. This festive and January, there's stuff. So you do your project and finish, you get paid, and make sure that you are paid very well, because you never know how much when you're gonna get paid. You find a person is doing a project of 300,000, you are paying yourself 50,000 or 30,000. That's very small. I mean, you are the project manager. You must be paid a lot of money there, because you don't know when you're gonna get funded. Mara, obviously, it must make sense. Or you are paid because you are starting with a project, you are ending with it, and you must make sure that your invoice is clear in terms of what you are being paid for. And then obviously they will tell you that they've got these disclaimers and what. But okay, let's go to the gist of them. Colleagues, will give you time to ask questions. You can write them down, because we just want to deal with the questions when we finish, and then we are done, because we might ask things that we're going to answer through the presentation. Now we are going to the GMS. All right. Okay. So this is the system. To those who don't know the GMS, the GMS is the system that the NAC uses for this funding. So if you are new, you are going to, okay, let me log out. If you are new, when you access the GMS, you're gonna come here, né? And when you come here, you are not gonna click, you're not gonna log in, because you don't have the login details. You are going to click register. When you register, you're gonna register your name, Mamang, whatever. I just wrote that because it's an email we're using for MG. You write your name, then you're gonna have a password. When you finish and you add some few numbers they give you, then when you finish that, they send you an email with these login details. Then you'll be able to come and put them here and log in. So me, I created this during the day when I was doing my practice and preparing for the session. So now I'm going to actually work on I'm going to open a new application. Let's do open a new application. So at the bottom here where there's an application, it said create a new application. You go there. If you are an individual, you're gonna create on the top. Ne? If you are an organization, you're gonna create with the organization. I have shown you the differences, and perhaps let's start with the organization, which is a bit complex. I'm gonna click there, and then okay, I'm going to write the name of the project. Remember the one in the reference letter is called Sebokeng Visual Arts Exhibition. And then they say individual or organization. You enter here the name of organization. I'm gonna call myself NAC PESP 6. 2. Discipline, my discipline is gonna be visual art. Sub-discipline is visual art. If I click register, it's not gonna go in, you see? It writes there, before you can register your application, the following fields needs to be completed, meaning download and read the NAC guidelines. I've already read it, so I'm just gonna click on it. Then I click register. Then my application is registered. Okay, because me, I'm likely that me then, you see, okay, first of all, when I log in here, I can't click, I can't work. You see, I can come here, but I can't type anything because they want me to complete the compliance documents. Any tab here is no longer active at the moment because I have not put the compliance document. They put the compliance document because most people will apply on the last day and the system will crash. This time around, it's not crashing. Because me, this compliance document is not a problem for me. Mara, I know it needs time. Yana. I'm more focused on the content. I'm gonna just come here and attach any document for fun for now so that I can pass the stage. Just attach this PESP, what, because they want to, I'm gonna attach the same thing twice. I just want to pass the stage so that I can deal with the gist of the application. This is not, these are paperwork that I can get anyway. I attach 2 certified ID copy because this is a company. I attach 2 certified ID copy here. I saw somebody in our MG group complaining, hey, I want to show you how you can pass this. But this is for people who are experienced because sometimes we'll make mistakes. Then I'm going to attach my pictures if you have them. But because at the moment I want to move, I'm going to do that. I'm going to attach the proof of bank account there. I think this is where many people are making mistakes. They are attaching things without verifying, especially because they just attach before they submit, they don't go back and rehearse and check and confirm. So here I also attach 2 letters of reference. So me now wouldn't make a mistake because normally I create a folder, I put a folder for everything. You must do that. You make sure your work is neat. You must have a folder of things and check them before you can even submit. Then I come here, certificate, I put 1 document there as well. I just want to move this thing up, Nyana. Okay. Yeah, then and colleagues, help others because if you don't get funded and you help somebody, they get funded, they can employ you. Yeah, you still work. People are greedy, they think it's only going to be the application that succeed. Imagine if you help others, you've got 2, 3 projects working. It means all of you guys are working and more people are working. Then you have, okay, then I'm attaching the detailed budget. Yeah, okay. So by the time I'm by the time I'm coming to the GMS myself, I've already gone through it to look at what they're looking for. Ne? So for now, yeah, I'll have folders for these things and I'll already organize everything so that I just copy and paste. I don't have to waste time here because I copy and so when you are done, you click submit compliance. So I check, okay, I submitted now. Can I click here? You see now I can write. my name of organization, NAC, PESP 6, 2. You see here, guys, this first tab of organization details or personal details, this is, guys, is straightforward. It's about your company name, the registration number, how long the company has been in existence, your tax class. This is information that you have, which we are not going to waste too much time with it. Then you are going to choose your title there. Mr. Mang Mang. You put your initial, you put your gender, you put your race, African. If you are having disability, you write yes or no. Then you put, normally here, if you put the ID, if you put your ID there, if you put your ID, if you put your ID, colleagues, this thing is recording on Facebook. Facebook is even easier because Zoom is gonna have to attach to upload as well. You put your ID, is gonna automatically put your date. So you're gonna put your address. So let's say you are from Limpopo, like me, for example. You're gonna put the address of Limpopo, yeah, and you put the physical address. You put the two addresses here. Normally, we are using physical address. Post office are no longer working. It's your house number, whatever. You put them. You put the province. Yeah, but what are the main objective of your organization? You write if you are into dance. Exactly what the time was saying. You write like for example, SACAIF is a youth organization. SACAIF is an organization that is focused on youth development and focused on job creation and also issues of skills development and what. And our objective is to advocate for the artist. Our objective is to create job opportunities for artists. Our objective is to skill as an artist in various subsectors, whatever it is. So these are just the objectives of your organization. You see, when I was talking about the individual and company, here they need more things than that other side. You will see the other side, they don't need a lot. Here they need objectives, that side they don't need objective. Here they need position, office bearers. You're gonna write a minimum of 3 to 4. Here I can say artistic director, name, contact number. I think they also need an ID number there. Okay, yeah, up contact number there. You add, you see here they've got 4 tabs. You're gonna add for artistic director, finance officer, management, and project manager. Let's say in your company you are alone. These are people that are gonna be working with you in the project. You can add other people there. It's not a problem. You can't be disqualified. So employment breakdown. If depending on the amount of money you're applying for, you're gonna make sure here you are gonna put full time. Full time is you and your guys. Then you put the race. You put the race there. Number of people, maybe 5 who are working full time in the project. Those who are having disability, you write 2 or 3. Then you click add. You click add then. So make sure if you're applying for 800,000, the number of employment here. Not here. Yes, remember, yes, employee breakdown of your organization, not your project. Then you're gonna add because there must be females as well there, full time. Maybe you've got females 3 or 2. You see, you add them. You can't be just gentleman club, comrades. So yeah, then you are done there for a company. Company won't have a lot because our companies are small. You might have 10 people maybe. But here, employee breakdown of the project. This is where you populate the numbers. What I like here is just numbers. They don't ask you the job titles like the NABF. Here you're gonna put the numbers. Make sure when you add the 2, there are at least 80 or 70 to apply for 800,000. So here again, they're gonna need organization achievement. Achievement is not a special thing, guys. If you were training, I can write. I've been training young people to dance traditional dance in my community. Here, 2025 outcome to capacity to preserve cultural heritage. You write. I've been training writers with literature writing skills. You write. They just want to know what you've been doing. And most of you as artists, you are always doing capacity building. Even those, if you are doing theater, you've trained young theater practitioners, you are doing rehearsals, all those things. So governance structure here again, they need, you just add those same names if you don't have any other name, the same names, but you give positions. Your company director, CEO, ID number, they want it here, and contact number. The reference here, because here they need 2 letters of reference. You're gonna write the the names of the 2 people who gave you the reference letter. Okay, if I was applying on the individual person, I would have passed here a long time ago. Here they need a lot of things. I think for me, use this one if you really need it, because hey, it's just too much things. Or also, if you just want to use a company, because the NAC does pay whatever amount they have to pay. So for me, what is more important with these applications is this part of the project details. You see, they've actually simplified this thing, the NAC this year, which we upload them, because in the past this portion will be it will need a lot of information. For now, guys, they just need to know the start date of the project and the end date of the project. So depending on them, if it's 1 month, you're gonna write. If it's anything, let's say 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, you're gonna write 1 month. If it's at least more than 31 days, you're gonna write 2 months here. But obviously, the results are coming out on the 1st of December. Your start date must at least be on the 15th, because they said they will be paying from the 1st, depending on how and when you as an applicant submit the revision and what they require from you. But they're going to move with speed. The first week of December, people must be having money in their account. Then this is now where you write, briefly explain the project that you are applying for. So many people are not funded because they just write 5 lines. They don't try to write. That's why I'm saying this is where I don't write this thing on the GMS. I'll write them down on a paper nicely and edit them until I'm happy. Then I just come and copy and paste here. So I said I want to do Sebokeng Visual Arts Exhibition. So by this time, I've already written the details of project details, project activities, project budgets. I'm actually done with the application. It's just that it's on a Word document. So what I will do here, if it's me, if I can show you, I wanna show you these things. If they are, I hope they're open. Let me just check them. What I will do, if it's myself, I will actually 1 minute. I wanna just open the right thing. So I've already done all these things that they want. Ne? So I'm just gonna go to those things that I've done. I just wanna open it now. I wanna show you. Okay. What is this? What is happening here? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So me, I'm gonna go like out here and say, no, let me copy from what I've written already. So here's the project description that I've written. Okay, no, that's not the one. I just want to make sure I open the right thing, colleagues. Okay. What is happening? This is the one. Yes. All right. Yeah, you see, I'm going to just come here. I've already written these things. Sebokeng project description. Sebokeng Visual Arts Exhibition is a community-driven cultural initiative that aims to showcase the creativity and innovation of emerging visual artists from Sebokeng and surrounding area. The project has been designed to respond to challenges faced by artists in township and semi-rural contexts where access to galleries, professional networks, and commercial art space is limited. Then you can read blah, blah, and then what. Then I also wrote, why is this project rational? I indicate in South Africa, we've got an extraordinary visual arts talent, yet many artists remain marginalized due to a high cost of exhibiting in these galleries, limited access, and all these things, right? Then I wrote, this will address these challenges. But then the most important thing, sometimes I will add vision of the project and mission. So I know the NAC normally they just want objectives. Then I'm going to write the objectives. The objective of this project is to create market opportunities by linking at least 20 local visual artists with potential buyers, collectors, and institutions. I want to increase the appreciation of local artists by highlighting their creative contribution and educating the public about their significance. I want to foster collaboration, engage youth and families through workshops, interactive demonstration. Because normally when you do this exhibition, visual artists will be doing demonstrations where they paint kids with families and so on. And normally we'll do them in the malls because, look, people who go to a mall have got money, have got a capital to spend than when you do an exhibition just in a gallery. And I mean, if you're doing an exhibition in a village, People have got priorities of buying bread, buying food, or buying a painting. They always buy food. So we go to the market where people have this thing. So how am I designing this exhibition? The visualized exhibition will run across 4 consecutive weekends between January and February 2026. Each venue will host a display for 3 days, Friday to Sunday, allowing maximum exposure. The exhibition will be rotated across 4 community hubs. Artist participation. I need to be clear on if time is reading, I can understand. 20 emerging and established artists will be selected because you can't just have established, you must mix. Through open call and community networks, they will receive stipends to cover their preparation and participate, which will be in the budget. So I'll also do capacity building because a lot of these artists, they don't know how to price their artwork. That's why a lot of people from overseas, they buy artworks from our people here. They sell them very expensive that side. I've got one friend of mine who's selling a lot of artwork to an UK lady, but at least he's charging some good amount. You see, you show your marketing strategy. Then because MG is about PESP is about job creation, you show them how many jobs you're gonna create. I'm saying I'm not looking for a lot of money. I want 500,000 and I want to create a minimum of 47 jobs. How will I create this job? I'm gonna have 20 visual artists employed to produce, exhibit, and sell the work. I'm gonna have 5 facilitators leading workshops and youth activities. I'm gonna have 4 marketing team members running digital campaigns and audience development, 2 branding and design guys who design my posters and visual artwork. I'm gonna have 5 exhibition logistics staff, securing setup and venue to manage the artwork and also to make sure they are safe. 4 technical crew for sound, because in other malls they do it outside. You can do sound and other installation. Administrative people who run the admin, run salaries, invoices, and so on. Transport, catering, all these things you add. Then impact of the community you show here, or youth will be impacted through exposure to role model and what, and also people living with disability. The NAC is more focused on issues of rural people as well. You write all those things, and you also show them, because or you want to monitor, how you will monitor your project, you will monitor like this and that. Then you need to add your impact of the project. You need to add sometimes output and outcome. It depends on you what you want to write. But remember, the GMS will only take colleagues, it will only take what do you call? It's going to take 1,000 words, né? So I'm going to then copy this thing that I've written that side. You see, I'm not going to be stressing about it. I'm just going to copy it and paste it in the GMS. Then I'm going to come back to this. I need to bring the GMS back now. What's happening? I'm going to go back to the GMS. Where is it? Okay, I think I have to open it this side. Sorry, give me 1 minute, colleagues. Yeah, I think we are winning now. I think we are winning. So I'm gonna go back to the GMS because now I need to attach this. Yeah, because I already wrote everything. You see, I just come here, I click and copy and paste. You see, if I can be able to save here, you see, it's even writing 20 words left. It means I'm fine. Then I save, because you must always save so that you are fine. If you don't save, when South Africa load shedding can damage you. So here they ask, briefly explain if, how, and your project will fulfill any of the following objectives. So artistic merit and innovation. How will your project be different and innovative? Ability to transform the sector. You see, I normally will do all those because my project must be doing both. It must be very innovative and it must also be able to transform the sector. But because I've already written that thing just under my proposal, I said the visual art program will visualize exhibition will demonstrate artistic merit by showcasing the diverse talents of the 20 emerging visual artists, all those things. And the project will contribute to the sector transformation by prioritizing employment and opportunities for youth, women, and people living with disability. It creates 47 direct jobs while building capacity among artists through training and mentorship. Then I copy that thing. Colleagues, don't copy this proposal. And I'm just giving some idea. This can be dance, can be anything. It's not necessarily for this. It can be music, but it's just a way of creating something that can be clear. I add there as well. You see, I'm done. So I'm done with these project details. Then I go to project activities. What are these project activities? So now I've already done my part. So I know I have my project activities written somewhere. Now, this is where I'm going to have to copy them because I've written them and I write the timeline. So here they're saying they want project activities, main project activities. If you look at it, where are we? Wait 1 minute. Yeah, they're saying to you, they want, I hope you guys are following me. Can you see this thing or I'm just talking alone?
We can see, President.
Okay, thank you. So they're saying they want project activities. What are project activities? Okay. Even today's an activity towards your application, attending the Sakai South Safe workshop, online workshop, activity 1, meeting plenary activity. Those are activities. Ne? So you're going to add them here. And then you add the main activity, the start date and end date. But if you want to be organized, you write them first so that you just copy and paste. So let's try to go to where we wrote those activities. Yeah, Nombula's hand is up. We'll deal with it after this thing, please. We're almost done. So these are my project activities. So project planning and coordination. And I also write the description. Okay, what is this all about? This recruit project teams, finalize venues, and confirm this thing. But this, I can simply just copy this and say, okay, I want to put it in the same because the tab only allow me one thing. Then I'm going to put it like that to say that's my first project activity. And the date, I'm going to do this from the 15th to the, but these things we can do within a week. I agree with just using these timelines. Normally, by, yeah, it's up to January 15 to 31 December. You can be doing that process. Then we come here. We go to the GMS. You just have to bear with me because I'm going to move around because I have to do this double thing. I paste my stuff there. Then I choose the dates. 15 December there. What is happening? 15, let's say 15 to 20, it's set to 30 December. Let's just do it the way it is. But though I'm not going to add all of them, I'm just going to add one so that you can see. So you see, we already have that one. Maybe let's add 2. Then let me go to the other one. This is the marketing and promotion of the project because you can't do project without marketing. It's very important to market your project. I'm trying to do those things as I'm trying to attach this thing. Okay, marketing and promotion. At least I won't even attach the other stuff that explain. 1 to 20 December, I'll be marketing this project. Let me go back there. Okay, 1 to 20 December. Yeah, that's project number 2, 1 to 20 December. January, sorry. Yes, you see, then I'm going to copy them until I finish because I've done them. When I'm done with this, then they're asking you fill in all the person's field and then click add. These are list the key people who are in the project. You can add 3 people who's gonna be doing marketing, who's gonna be doing whatever other jobs that are gonna be part of the project. You just add 3 people or 4 here. It's a simple thing here. So now they ask you here, which of the following will the project impact on? I normally like people living with disability because I work with a lot of my guys and with living with disability. I'm trying to advocate on that space as well. And the rural communities, and then you women and youth. You see, it's up to you. You can choose 3, you can choose 2. Then for this one, I think I chose those 3 for this particular example. But based on what you have ticked, please describe in brief. So you're going to describe how will this project benefit impact these people living with disability. So you'll be giving them a platform, you'll be creating opportunity for rural youth to sell, you'll be creating opportunities for the youth to have to have to learn and stuff like that. So I just want to get them because I already prepared them. I want to open it here so that I can just copy it. Yeah. So we're gonna come here and say, these are the ones I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna copy one of them. Okay. I already written what my project will impact on. I wrote the Sibuke Visual Arts XB is designed to create inclusive opportunities that directly benefit youth, people living with disability, and rural communities. I explained there. Then I'm just going to copy what I've written already. Then I go back to the GMS. But if I'm not in Zoom, obviously, I'll move faster because it's just fast. But because here we're demonstrating this thing. And guys, this thing is on our Facebook page. It's easy. You're just gonna find it there. Yeah, you see now I've done that. I've done this. I'm done with these project activities. I'm done with the most important things of the project. Now, yeah, they want the budget. I'm applying for 500,000. So when I'm applying for 500,000, there is a leader Tami did spoke here on the compliance document. They need a detail. They explain detailed budget breakdown. So the detailed budget breakdown is not the same as the budget that you're gonna attach here. So me, I already worked on my detailed budget breakdown, which I'll show you, right? That I'm gonna attach there where Leader Tami was speaking about. I'm just trying to check it here. Yeah, this is my detailed budget breakdown. Where's this thing? This thing disappeared now. Okay, this is my detailed budget breakdown. That for that project, which I'm gonna go through now. You must see that is neat, this budget breakdown. So I'm saying to Tami who's evaluating this, or really Dapa lady to say who's a visual artist, would say visual here actually I need to add visual artist fees. Stipends for 20 exhibition artists, 7,500 each for exhibition, preparation, installation, and showcase. Unit cost 7,500, quantity 20, total cost is 150,000. Jobs created is 20. This is where I was talking about when you do a budget, you a detailed budget, show the kind of jobs you are going to create per item. I said facilitators, like I said, I've got 5 facilitators and I'm creating 5 jobs. And I'm going to pay them 12,000 each, right? But this will change with time. Marketing and promotion. Here is flyers, posters, and adverts. Here you're going to have marketing teams, you see. It's 5,000 times 4. Then when you look at the jobs here, you're probably going to have more than 4 because here's just jobs for marketing team. You're going to have probably, if you add adverts and promoters, social media influencers, you can have about 6 or 7 jobs here. Then branding material, here, you're going to have a designer and the ones who are dealing with production. So you're going to have 2 jobs there. I wrote them. This is my detailed budget. Technical crew, I'm giving 10,000 each. I'm going to have 4. Mara, remember, this budget changes, guys. Normally, once you are, actually, you're going to negotiate when you get the money because they won't give you what you want. Coordinators and administration, I'm going to have 2 admin assistants and I'm going to have a project manager. Project manager will be paid that amount of money, but I will not put this is too small. So I'm just giving an example. Then you've got 3 jobs there. Then transport, you've got to have 2 drivers. You pay them that much. Then also reporting is a process because you need to collect data. You must have people who are taking footage, cameramen, visual people. You probably have 4 jobs here, but I think this I can have about 50 jobs if I want. Then this is the detailed budget. Then I'm going to take this detailed budget. This detailed budget, I'm going to come back here now to the compliance and put the actual detailed budget because I have it now. I come here to compliance, I say I put my detailed budget. I delete this thing that I was helping myself to move forward. Then I'm going to put this detailed budget that I have. Where is the detailed budget? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the one I did. Then I say upload. Then I've uploaded, I've done my detailed budget. Then now, okay, I want to put the PESP budget. This is where I was actually. I just want to show you the detailed budget. So you see, the PESP budget needs an item only and the project amount and the requested amount. Actually, we request the amount that we request in project amount is the same. So my PESP budget is the same detailed budget, but I just removed too many things that I've written because now I can't put all of them in the GMS. What is important is that the detailed budget must have item, unit cost, quantity, unit cost, quantity, unit cost, total cost. Then you are done. So my proposed detailed budget is this one. GMS budget. Now I call this one a GMS budget because this is what I'm gonna put on the GMS. You see, you wanna see it's very small. Can you see how tiny this one is? Because it doesn't have to be too much. I'm going to copy here and say I can say visual artist fee. Ne? Okay, this one doesn't want me to write. I'm gonna write on the other side. Visual artist fee is 150,000. I always put the total budget here. Then I'm going to go here. I'm only gonna put one item because now I think everybody's following what I'm talking about. Then I'm gonna come here. Let me bring it on the Zoom. Then I'm gonna come here and say, okay, what happened? Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm gonna come here and add my visual artist fees, exhibition fees. It must be clear. Exhibition fees, or I add the way it's written there. Then I say 150,000. 150,000. Okay. Then I come here, click save. Then I'm going to add all this budget of the GMS until I reach the last portion. Let me just check. Until I reach, I'm going to then add facilitators and trainers 60, exhibition logistics 80, marketing and promotion 70, branding, technical crew, coordination and administration, reporting and monitoring 20, up to 520. Then when you are done with this process, you click save. The GMS automatically itself, it actually do what we call, it actually saved, ne? It actually saves this thing, and then it's gonna give you the total budget, the same one as the one you have. Then when you do that, you click save. Then let's say now if I want to, before you submit, you click, okay, Mara, let's start with the compliance. Actually, after you have done this thing that I was showing you, because you do not put the right documents, ne? To be safe, you must delete a couple of these things or all of them. The system won't shut it out. You just remove them because you see now, if you don't delete them, we're gonna go there and click save. And then you click validate. And then it says you are ready to submit. You realize, yo, I submitted the wrong things. So you must I'm saying those who are not ready with compliance. I'm encouraging everybody to put all the compliance on time. Please, when you start, so that because some people might forget and just submit without checking the compliance. Yeah, then you just click validate. Then it's gonna tell you, see, these are all the things that I'm missing. I can't submit until I fill those things. But basically now you are done. You'll have filled everything, then you are done. So I think we are done with the GMS, which is the most important thing. Your compliance, as we said, colleagues, is very actually. What we know is that the NAC, once you pass compliance, chances of getting fundings are high as long as you follow what we told you. But once you don't pass compliance, colleagues, it's difficult. Even ourselves, we can't defend this because now, what are we saying? Because we are the ones who are saying do the right thing. And when these people are doing the right thing, they're finding mistakes. We still fighting with them. We now look like we don't know what we want. So let's encourage doing the right things. We all get declined at this stage. Mara, don't just take the email or the decline. They're working under pressure. there's a possibility of errors. At least now you have a chance to write them an email before they go for evaluation. So we're going to deal with questions and answers, and I'm going to open the platform for, yeah, we're not very bad with time. At least I managed to finish before 9 o'clock. So now I'm gonna be dealing with the questions and answers. Leader Tammy as well will be responding to questions, and Leader Palid. You can raise your hands. Leader Palid will check the hands, then we can start. Let's start with Nomvula because the hand was up. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Novula, you'll be the first one. Second one, Layola. Guys, on your what do you call, on your phones or laptop, there's a reaction, a written reaction with a heart. You just click there, then you'll be able to raise up your hand. Or some I know maybe you'll be scared to ask. You can also write on our chat. Then third person is Kopano. Novula, are you still is Novula still in the meeting? If she's not here, Layola, the platform is yours. And also before Layola comes in, I attached the guideline on the comments. Just open the chat, you'll see the guideline, and also the GMS website. The link of the GMS is attached on the comments. You just click, it will be able to open. Layola, you can ask your question.
Yes, thank you. So I'd just like to ask on the issue of paying yourself as a project or the project manager, is there a percentage that you would recommend, or how do you go about that to make sure that you don't short pay yourself? That's one question. And also another one related to that is that can you also add yourself on other supporting jobs?
Sources, can you just repeat? I think I missed something there. Thank you.
Yes, you mentioned that you shouldn't short pay yourself as the project manager, right? So I was just wondering, what's the formula you would then advise one to use to pay themselves as a project manager? Could you use maybe a percentage of the total fund that you're applying for, or is there a way that you could go about it to make sure that you get paid fairly? Because sometimes you get scared to put your own salary so high, in fear that they might reject it on that basis. I'm not sure if this now makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. Sorry, colleagues. I think, Leader Palid, I forgot that there is that other individual thing. Mara, I won't go to the actual proposal. I just want to show the difference, please, quickly, if you can allow me to do that.
Okay. It's fine. You guys will ask more questions after the president dealt with the individual session because he left it. So you can put your hands down. Then I'll take hands after that. I've already noted you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, colleagues, this will be very quick. I'm only gonna do 2 tabs. The rest is the same. So this is the portal for the individual, people who are applying as an individual. Can you see it doesn't need a lot of things. It only need a bank confirmation letter for you as an individual. And the reference letters, it still needs 2 reference letters. Mara, they must not talk about your company or organization. They must talk about you. And they need a certified copy, only one. That other side, they need 2. Here they need 1, which is just your certified ID copy. The example of the work is the same as the other side. They need example of the work. You must show the work that you have done. Then the CV, here they only need 1 CV for you as an applicant. Following what Leader Tami said, making sure that it's in line with what you're applying for. And it mentions some work you have done. And the same thing for the synopsis. If you are doing a theater, you just do a synopsis for the theater. So for capacity building as well, you will need to draft a manual and other stuff, as Leader Tami said. The digital budget breakdown is the same as the other side. But as I was showing you here, they don't need two things. They need 1. This one is even worse. They need very, very few things. You see here, when you put your details, It's the same thing, your names, initial, gender, and all these things, your ID number. Then here they need your address, physical and street address, the same as the other side. But here they need artistic achievements. They need contact details of people who gave you reference. You see now, they don't need those directors. They don't need those many things that they need. They only need achievements. After achievement, they need 2 people who gave you reference. Then you put down the employee breakdown of your project. That's when you must reach your number of the employment that has been done. And then you go, this other stuff is the same. So I thought this is important. Why I always encourage people to do this one, because I feel like this one is easy. It's better. But I think if you need maybe Buma 800, maybe people are scared because sometimes you might not get the big monies when you are an individual. So yeah, Leader Palida, I don't know if Leader Loyola was done, because I think she had 2 questions. The first question is covered. Are you done, or you still have another question?
So that was the one question, and I have one sort of related to that as well. Is it acceptable to list yourself on the other jobs as well? So now you are the project manager, right? Can you also now be maybe a driver and pay yourself as a driver, or maybe part of the marketing team, or should you only do the project management aspect of it and only focus on that? So that's the one cluster of questions, I guess. But then I also have another question with applying as an individual and as an organization. Aren't there tax implications that are severe if you apply as an individual? I'm thinking about the whole you get taxed for your income as an individual, as opposed to as an organization where you get taxed after expenses. So I'd like some advice on that as well, because I haven't applied as an individual because I feared the tax implications of that. So yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Chairman, let them ask this question. I'll take this first 5. Then after you'll respond, then we'll take another 5. So I'll go for Kopano. Then
Yeah,
after
but
Kopano is
don't point at me, because you'll be responding as
yes,
well.
I was avoiding him also. So it's Kopano. After Kopano is Mama Bolo. Then after Mama Bolo is Media Solutions. OJ as Media Solutions. Those are the people who raised hands before you took them to the individual thing. So in that order, Kopano.
Thank you. Am I audible, leadership?
Yes.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Leader Paledi. Leader, this is Kopano, the Deputy President of South African Arts and Culture Youth Forum, all the way from First State, Sasolburg. One, President, I experienced a serious rejections from this PESP and NAC as it is. I've been applying, not only me, but I've seen many young people from my area and the province of the Free State applying for this project, but they will always receive a reject letters. It is only few groups and individual people whom are always supported and being given a happy letter from NAC. This thing is a worrying factor to the provincial from the Free State, because it seems like as if the NAC itself, it's like they are ignoring the proposals that are coming or emerging from the province called Free State. I don't know whether this thing is it personal to the individuals who are in a adjudication committee or what, but I need clarity on that, because I've been applying. I can even send some few proofs to show how many years we've been applying, but there's not any success. I wonder, and I'm also asking myself question that if we can apply now, are we going to be supported by this PESP or NAC, or are they still going to do this, the usual thing that they used to do, and now it becomes a norm that when they receive the proposals that comes from the Free State, they overlook them. They don't just go through as per numbers of proposals that they received, and this thing is worrying. And sometimes, maybe sometimes we begin to feel like what Gauteng artist is doing to shut down the NAC. Maybe they think that we don't have capacity as the Free Staters to travel from where we are and come to the NAC and close down that office. We can't do the same thing as the Gauteng artists do. But I normally wonder, how does these people whom are appointed think about in terms of responding to the applications that they receive? Sometimes I understand, since I experienced that a minister at some point at the Market Theatre claiming that those who are complaining, they must open their own political party, then so that they'll be able to approve whatever proposal that they receive. I wonder what type of a minister is that, and how did that particular person or individual being appointed and being so selfish to say such a word? Because department itself, according to my knowledge, it is not about the political party. It's about all parties that are representing the South African whom are voters within the South Africa as it is. But now, if an individual who is a custodian or the stewardship of the department itself begins to say such, or to utter such utterances to the artist, it worries, and it's also shocking people. I wonder that, are we dealing with politicians in that education board, or are we dealing with people whom under oath declared that they are prepared to serve the interests of the industry and the South Africans in particular? You know, leadership, we need to be frank and be honest to ourselves. That NAC is so selfish and selectively undermining certain provinces because they are far from the NAC offices. I think that I must start to mobilize myself from where I will go and engage the different municipalities that we are normally working with to fund the taxis and buses, so that I'll be able to bus number of young people, artists in general, and those who are doing business in arts, so that they will start to feel the arrogance and anarchy, that we can possess as well. Because it seems like as if these people now, they are fighting, and they are fighting at least the indirect. Leaders, please, those who are in the hard adjudication board, they must start to be fair and be honest to themselves and respond to people as per their proposal. Thank you very much. As I submit.
Okay, DP, we'll address that.
Thank you, DP. You are noted. The president will address that. Leader Teboho Mamabolo.
Can Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, but you're breaking.
Okay, my question will be on the upload. Is there any possibility that they can put a view option? Because I mean, it's very sad that when you thinking that you have uploaded the right documents and then you get these reject letters, and then you question and you find out that no, you didn't upload the right documents. So my question is to say, I know it might be something of now, but going forward, that they can put a view or a preview option, so that whatever you upload, you'll be able to see before you can actually say press send. But
Okay. Thank you. Your question
Because
is
I've
very
seen
clear.
on other. Okay, thank you.
OJS Solutions.
Sorry, Lapaledi, I think Tebuko was still speaking. Can you let us finish? I think we cut a bit early.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying I've seen on other government portals, they do have a view option where whatever you upload, then you can be able to see. And then if ever you've made a mistake, then you can be able to correct within the time frame.
Oh, okay. Sorry for cutting you short earlier on. OJ Solutions. Okay, I think we lost. OJ is no longer here, but it's fine. I think for now, I don't know if I should also read the questions in the chat box, or you should deal with these ones first, or should we just include all the questions that are here?
I think let's, because we still have Facebook, let's do this round. Then the next round we'll go to the chat box and Facebook. Then we come back to the house. Then we close it here. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Leader Paledi, for addressing this question and answer session. Yeah, and also let me acknowledge all the artists who are asking very important questions. And our Deputy President is raising also very key issues. Indeed, in the meeting we had for the sitting, the issue of the provincial distribution was raised because most of these fundings, not just at the NAC and others, they go to Joburg and Cape Town and Durban, and a lot of our artists in those other areas are not being supported properly. But I think DP, as you know, that the challenge we've been having in the past with the NAC was because, remember, the NAC they employ the panels. They do call out for panels, and then these panel members, they serve at the NAC for any funding call, whether is the PESP, is the annual call, is the 3-year funding call, is the bursaries, and they stay there for 3 years. Actually, we did address that in the city to say that is where there's always going to be corruption, because when people overstay as panel member is a problem. So at the National Film and Video Foundation, they appoint panels per call. So which is actually something that works better, because what has happened in the NS in the past is that some of the panelists, when they're about to leave, they will always have their own preferences and so on. But also what we noted is not necessarily the NEC management who was involved, because they have a panel and they've got the people who oversee the problem. But also the issues you are raising, we're going to address them. So the issue of the rejection letters at the complaint stage is the issues that we're trying to address today, where sometimes even ourselves as artists, we don't put the relevant documentation. Maybe you miss your letter is not signed. You miss a very small thing that my sister Tebuko was addressing. Is it Sister Tebuko? Yeah, Sister Tebuko was actually raising there. So there's also rejection at the evaluation, which when they told us, they said the issue is that yeah, Leader Mtetwa, I saw your hand. They will call you in the next call. The issue was which was read in the sitting with the CEO was the issue of also budgetary constraint, where we had the council is working on the budgets. But I think that is where we need to push our artists on the ground to also do competitive programs. Leader, we will arrange with you as well as archive in the Free State. Leader Lukuza is here as well, because we need also go to the ground in those areas. But I think those issues you are raising, they are very valid. And I know you are right, DP, you are capable. I know, I know you can do that. We have been fighting there for Makofe and the Free State as well. So let's hope when we do the next engagement, you'll also be available, another leader, so that we are able to address this issue of provincial spread of this funding. So I'm going to quickly go through what I know, and I'm going to let Leader Tammy to also touch on these things. Will also be clear, straight to the point. So, Leola, in terms of the budget, I always say that you, as the project manager, is your project. So you are being funded now, you might not be funded, and you are self-employed. So I always say that you must, first of all, you must pay artists well, because I'm not saying people must take money they don't pay artists work. You must pay the artists you're hiring well, and you must pay yourself very well as well, because if you are a project manager, like today you are attending, you are going to apply, you are doing admin, you are going to be working on the project. You always do more than one job as a project manager. So you must allocate yourself a budget. So when you do your revision, let's say you got funded 350,000. You can add a project management fee of 100 or 120. You see? So let's say you are also using your car, because when you run a project, you're gonna be using your car, sort of, ne? You must also, the car must be hired from you. Your car, because if something is broken, who must fix it with which money? So you must hire the car from yourself. You must do an invoice, but maybe use a different account, because leader Arthur once raised this in the meeting to say, if I'm running a festival, because I've got equipment, and I've got everything screens. When I use my equipment, I can't use it for free. And they agree to say, yeah, you must hire yourself. You see, the problem with us black people, when we run businesses, we don't run them like white people. White people, they charge for everything. Even a pen, even, you see, they will charge for everything that they are using in the project. And that is why they are more successful, because when they are not funded, they can still have money. As if you are running a project, then you pay yourself 30,000 or 40,000. Then your car has been running for 2 months and then it's broken. You can't fix the car because you never allocated the budget for the car. But we are also going to ask the NAC about these issues as well, so that they are very clear. So also the issue of the other jobs you do, I think that should also be accommodated, because the NAVF does that. The NAVF in their PESP and other funding calls, they do allow people to be paid for more than one job. But these things have been written down to tomorrow. I think we've got an engagement, or whenever we do, we'll make sure before the funding call is out, is addressed. The issues of tax, I think is very important what you have raised. So here, with these projects of the NAC and other funding calls, basically the money that they're giving you, let's say 200,000, is not your money. The money is just passing through your hands to create an employment and a project. And we raised this in the meeting, according to the labor, we're not treated as employees. So basically, you are just a conduit, because you are getting money to create employment and pay people. So we need to find out on this thing exactly, because it will end up impacting a lot of people. So I don't have a specific answer for this myself, but I think colleagues agree here, we're in the meeting, and some of you know these things. So don't think we've got answers for everything. But let's also make a research about this. But what I know is that that money is not yours, because I'm sure if you can prove to SARS or no, you have paid money for a project, project activities, and then the money you paid people like that, and you've got reports, and you can account for it. There's some sort of way that you can deal with the issue. But what we are raising is very, very important, and something that colleagues we need to look into, because these government grants, they give people grants, then you find sometimes you are putting yourself in trouble. But I have heard of the accountants saying that no, project grants are not your money. So they only tax you for the money you make profit, because in a project grant, you are not really making profit. You are just gonna be paid for your work. You might be taxed for the money you were paid, but imagine you can't get taxed for the money you paid people, because that money just passes in your account. Mara, I'm actually taking this one so that we can check. Even those who are accountants and working with these things online, please comment. Let us know what we can do. Leader Tebuku, I think she's very correct. Other government entities, they do have the review button where you can review your document. We are going to address that with the NAC to edit, even though they said it's a cost, but it must be added in the future so that I can see what I've attached. For now, we must just encourage ourselves to say, let's be organized, colleagues. When every year or every month you apply for a funding, create a folder. Make your folder neat. if you create a folder, you saw like me when I prepared for my project presentation today. I only prepared this thing within 2 hours or 3 hours because I'm used to these things. Mara, I made sure I created folders and my things are ready, so that I'm not disorganized here. I don't look like I don't know what I'm doing, you see. So create a folder, write NAC PESP 6 funding. Inside the folder, write compliance. Inside compliance, write IDs, break them down. Inside, you see, that way you make sure yourself. For now, because we don't have that view that is supposed to be there, make sure you read and read again. Read the compliance, as Leader Time was saying. Check like the letter was saying, it must be proper, it must be signed. They don't want that sign of where you just write Romeo. It must be a proper signature, and it must be having a date, it must be having an address. It makes sense what they are requiring because they want to know where you are from. And colleagues, by the way, this stage, once you pass, the people who are evaluating your project, they don't check these things. And it's not like they're gonna call Leader Paledi. I know Leader Paledi writes a lot of letters for people and so on. They just want to check whether you're compliant, because we imagine if they just take everything without checking compliance. You see, we need to also discipline ourselves as artists to say, let's also follow these things that are there, because these guidelines are there. Yes, we agree to say we need to be part of the decisions of these guidelines and so on. So I think, Leader Paledi, I think I have dealt with this one. Let's bring in Leader Tami to add on this. Then we quickly go to the GMS, to the GMS and the Facebook page. So I think, colleagues, if we can finish latest by, it's 2016 now. If we can finish the question and answer by 2036, 20 minutes from now, we'll be fine, because we need to give people chance to work on their proposals. So also, if you are watching online or on Facebook, if you are stuck, you can just comment there, we'll respond. If it's sensitive things, you can inbox, will respond, so that we don't stop you from working. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President. I'll be quick. On the first one, as the project manager, you are right, President. You must also think, as a project manager, you do quite a lot of work. You do a work pre the project, and also when the project is done, post-project, you have to put together a report. So be strategic. Not only look at the project manager fee. Like I'll make an example. When I'm doing a capacity building workshop, you understand, I will be also a head facilitator or one of the facilitators. When I'm doing a festival, beyond just being a project manager, but there will be other things, because I've applied for this thing because I'm passionate about it. So ungazibulali as a project manager. Bear in mind, you are now sitting with the same proposal that you are doing. We understand it's you. It's your intellectual property. You understand? You are thinking ideas. It's work already. You understand? So in your project timeline, also incorporate those things. Like Ulita Romeo is saying, maybe your first week will be, you understand, a consultation and all those things. You understand? Place it in a strategic way. You understand? Because you can't run away. You are doing a lot of work. Putting application together, it's a lot of work. After, when the project is done, you need to submit a report. It's a lot of work. Do justice for yourself. In terms of tax implication, we understand that I know with myself, I've applied as an individual. There is not that tax complication. You understand that I would encourage people to apply. And then in terms of the Free State matter, each province, beside the ones that are appointed by the minister, each province, their MEC appoint someone that will represent their province need into the council, right? So maybe another engagement that needs to happen, find out who represent a Free State in this new council, you understand, so that you can engage. And you are right, TP. Sometimes there are just politically things in the past. Like, for example, when I was still in the Western Cape, I knew a lot of people who were serving in the Western Cape Cultural Commission who were more involved in arts and culture, but the Western Cape was sending someone wrong who does not understand the dynamics of the arts. We understand that, but they focus more on cultural issues. You understand that? So we also need to make sure our MEC, we engage them. And what is nice, it might be nice or bad, the NAC now is having a new council, which is totally different from the previous council that was adjudicating. The NAC now is going to have a new adjudication panel. We understand that, which is totally different from the previous one. And then we were discussing with President Romeo Kuti, what is this thing about the winning formula? Because sometimes as artists, we like to punish each other. If you listen to the way President Romeo was unpacking the application process, and yet in the same industry, you will find people what is Romeo doing in the industry? And we understand the work speaks for itself. We understand that. Look at the amount of work that Ulewe Sakai is doing. And are you going to judge Sakai when Sakai keep on repeating? Because Sakai over the years, they've developed a winning formula of applying. You understand? And we can't take that away from Sakai. You understand? Sometimes I feel there are organizations and individuals who have developed a winning formula. There is no criteria that says, after you've been funded for 3 years or 5 years, you must stop funding. You understand? Just like the current debate that is happening about festival funding that has been cut. There is no law that is written unless it says, you understand, after 5 years, we can't fund you. According to the law and the policies, there is no such. We must also be careful as the artist Nati Sifuna penalize other people. I'll make a typical example myself. This year, I was really hoping when I engaged President Romeo, I wanted to join the adjudication panel because I felt I'm in a better position of understanding. You understand that if I were to engage other panel members in terms of not penalizing artists with so small things, because I know the winning formula. I know the language that they are looking, and I also know the loopholes. But sadly, because they say to go to the way compliance thing that I did not qualify. So I know amongst the adjudication panel, they are not meant to be known public because they are saying they are protecting. But amongst these people, they are artists. They also need to do justice, you understand, in terms of the sector. It does not mean, Uguti, as an adjudicator, you can't raise some of the concern. It does not mean council members, you understand, can't raise, Uguti, hey guys, let's look at the spread of different provinces. Uguti, other provinces are really struggling, we understand. So we need to find a balance in that. You understand? The council members, new council members at the NAC must look at these things. The new adjudication panel must also look at this thing and make sure the province's balance are met. You understand? I love the idea of the view upload because, for example, it happens even to us when you've uploaded things on GMS. Some of the phones, when you click, you want to view, it will show you in numbers and not through. And not show you the document, and sometimes I try maybe with laptop or what in, and that's when I can see, so anything that will make the process easier, we understand. I truly think we should suggest to NAC. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Yeah, thank you, Leader Tami. Yeah, you are very correct because sometimes artists, when they are inside, they forget that they're artists, and actually they forget the challenges that we have as an industry. That a lot of our people are talented but not administrative. So I think leaders, let me just before Leader Palid go to the last set of questions. Let me take this opportunity to also welcome the DP of Sakai. I was not aware that he was here. It will be very wrong of me to not acknowledge this leader. And also, I want to acknowledge Leader Mtetwa, Godongwane, who is here as well, one of the leaders who were in the sitting, and also President Sibongile Mngoma. So I think, Leader Paledi, before we go to the questions, maybe give these leaders just one bite, then we go back to the questions. Yeah, then for those colleagues on the Facebook and other areas that they are saying why we're doing the webinar late, we started at 7 because we realized that normally between 4, 5, and 6 people are traveling. But also for us, we know the webinar will be recorded on the Facebook. You can always go refer. Even if you wake up, you can't sleep, you are dreaming in the morning, you can always just open your computer, you watch the webinar. And as we don't sleep, anytime you inbox, you do what will assist where we can. So yeah, we're actually happy that it's recorded on the Facebook. At least we know that people are not lost. They will be able to get answers. They will be able to follow on this particular webinar. Also, the NAC is going to be doing webinars. We're also going to be doing more webinars with the South Sea and other organizations. Back to you, Leader Parit.
Okay, no, thank you, President. Thank you, Leader Tammy. I think I'll give before I can go into the next questions. I see you, Leader Tabiso. I will give you Leader Muteta just to say a few words. Leader Kodongon. Okay.
Thank you so much, Chair, President, Deputy President, Chairperson. All protocol is observed, colleagues. I'll be very short. I won't be very long because already a meeting is Pagatnendao. But mine is to say we need not to relax. We need to fight for amalungelo ethu as a group. And we need to remind these people that these institutions that they are serving in, they are not doing us a favor. Umsebenzi wabo, or their role, is to actually focus on communities and make sure that they promote development from grassroots. But unfortunately, we don't see that in this industry. We see officials that are very pompous, that believe that they are entitled to salaries. But Tina, as the creative sector practitioners and industry folks, who are not entitled to anything. Instead, we've got a problem of entitlement. So we must not stop. We must make noise. We must fight, and we must apply. As the president has been saying, people must apply, because I think the other mistake that we are doing as the sector is that we always fight, we always go to these engagements. People will be loud, yeah, but people don't apply. I'm a filmmaker, but I said I'll apply, even though I'm not in this faculty, but I'll apply so that we can prove the system is rigged and is against us as abantu abamnyama. You must remember that these institutions were put in place so that they could fix correct the mistakes that were done against our people, not to focus on people who are already established and people that have money. Right now, the problem that we're facing, they're making provinces to turn against each other. As a Joburg-based practitioner, a lot of people think in Joburg we have it easy. Joburg is prioritized. But in actual fact, when you check, you find there's certain individuals and organizations that are priority. But the people that actually need this funding to create jobs, they're not being prioritized. There's always excuse after excuse. So we need to not, as people from different provinces, we must really not fall to their trap where they're going to make us fight amongst ourselves, because they make people think there's provinces that are prioritized more and others are not prioritized. It's true that there's provinces that don't get a cent. It's true. But we must fight to everyone must get imali, because this is our money. This is taxpayers' money. We cannot longer allow officials to become celebrities and drive expensive cars and live in expensive houses. And they always fail in lifestyle audit, because when they do lifestyle audit, they fail dismally, because they cannot account for this life by pilayo by affordaganjan. So that will be my submission. Mina, President, I'm ready. Nami ngamapijama ami. I'm trying to get umkuku, and and a stuff so that we can boycott them. We must never stop until this Bantinti called Uma Kenzi is fired, but we must apply. Iloko, thank you.
Thank you, Leader Muteta. I think I'm missing someone, President. The DP is not here.
Yeah, no, the DP has spoken.
Oh,
Thanks,
okay.
Leader Mthethwa. I think I was just saying we'll acknowledge Leader Mthethwa and President Mngoma to have a bite. I know they might not necessarily speak on the application. Then we quickly go back to the application. I agree, just the leaders who've been fighting for the artists. Yeah.
Oh, okay. President Goma, you can take the platform.
Good evening, everyone. My apologies for being late. I think for me, the important thing is I want to reiterate what President Romeo said earlier about when you do these projects, try by all means to be fair in how you deal with other artists, because we've seen situations where people pay peanuts and keep the lion's share of the money for themselves. Artists have struggled for the longest time, and the one thing they don't need is to be marginalized by their fellow artists. So when you get approved for a project, try and make sure that you pay. I know people like President Romeo and Leader Tammy, when they do their projects, they pay fair rates. They really do try and pay fair rates. You can't get funded for 500,000 and take 400,000 for yourself and split 100,000 amongst everybody else. That is unfair, and it makes you an unjust boss, and you don't deserve to then be hosting any event or any project. So for me, I would say try and make sure that you work with integrity with other artists, because the system is not working with integrity with us. So it's up to us to teach them how to do it right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. I think from now I'll just move on with the questioning, and also I'll start with, because I see one hand here. Then I'll just read the questions on the chat box. Then we go for questions on Facebook. Leader Taviso, you can ask.
Good evening, creatives. Thank you for the opportunity. All protocol observed, the president, the colleagues, the chair. My question is based on the application on the GMS under the project. I'm applying under organization, as an organization, not as an individual. Organization details, the employee breakdown. We have office bearers, employee breakdown. I'm not sure if that was elaborated because if I joined the meeting a bit late. I'm able to use the same employees that are working under the organization, as well as I can utilize them as the governance structures as well, or I need to put different people under the governance structures, or all the employment breakdown for organization and project, and under governance structure as well. I can utilize same people who are permanently under the organization as well. And then the other question is under, I think it's project details or activities for project impact. Am I limited to select more than two because of here? Oh, they are not stating how many can I select. Can I select all the areas that the project will be impacting on, and then give a necessary laborative, or there's a specific number that I need to select, maybe two or three, or there's no limit in that? I think those are my questions. And then the last one is just a comment of what you are doing, guys. You are doing a lot for the sector and the industry. We really appreciate. I've been in the creative space for quite some time, and this initiative and your impact and your passion within the activity goes a long way as creative. We appreciate your effort, guys. President of SACAIF, your entourage, your colleagues who are working under US Archive. You are doing a lot, and other organizations that you've partnered with in terms of fighting for this sector. We really appreciate you, and we hope that God can keep you guys till we reach the end goal of what we are crying for. We are busy following you. There's nothing much that we can do to show the support, but I think by sharing words with you and words of encouragement, it will go a long way. So keep on fighting. We saw you at the parliament of the portfolio where you represented us very well. And then it only takes action. No more talking. I salute you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader Taviso. Thank you so much. I think they noted the questions. Then now I'll read the questions in the chat box. The first question is from Leborang. She's asking about reference letters. The question is, how do I get one as an individual? Then the second question is from Tamani. Tamani.
So
In
sorry
terms of
about it. Lebogang, which province?
it's on the chat box. I don't know which province is Lebong Brownie.
Okay, I'll continue. They'll chat. They'll comment. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then second question is from Tamani. Question is in terms of portfolios videos. In terms of portfolio videos or pictures, do they want a separate document or they are uploaded on the site? Then the next question is from Philip. He asked two questions. First question is under budget, what is the difference between project amount and requested amount? Should it really remain the same? That is the question. Question two, if you are a business operating alone with no other official office barrier reflecting on your CK, can this person be anyone? Okay, that's the second question. The third question is from Mujaji. If my budget is 510,000 or 600,000, do I then have to create 70 jobs or the 70 jobs require it only for 800,000? Yeah, I think those are the three questions from the chat box. So on Facebook, let me just move to Facebook quickly.
Through you, Chair. While you are checking Facebook, because I think they are very straightforward, can I just quickly pitch in?
Okay, no problem.
About the reference, is it fine, Chair?
Yes, it's fine. Carry on.
Or about the reference letters, obviously, as President was saying, you can apply as an individual and also organization. Obviously, regardless of organization, someone needs to speak about the work that you do. You understand? So it is required, whether you apply it as an individual or organization, two people must show ukuthi they know that you are involved in the industry and display ukuthi you know what you are talking about in terms of what you do. In terms of portfolio videos, there are two sections. There is a new section that they have included, which you can insert a link of a video or audio, we understand. And then also the second one is whereby they want your example of your previous work. In the previous work, I was suggesting that it's always nice to create a collage. We understand that with the dates, that will be nice. Same applies. The more you make it more interesting, the more they will realize, Uguti, you deserve. Yeah, but depending how creative you want, we understand. So a collage always work. And then in terms of those two questions, under budget, the project amount and request amount, I can proudly say throughout all these years that I've applied, for the NAC, I make them the same amount because I know in the MGE it was totally different because they wanted to check how much you can get others. To be safe and not confuse yourself with that portal, I will encourage you to write the same amount. They won't disqualify you for that. And if you're a business, obviously the PTY you register alone, but maybe in the project there will be someone else that you will work with, so you can put their as the extra office bearer. In this context, you will be obviously one office bearer that is registered with the CIPC, and then the other person maybe will be a person that will maybe assist maybe with administration for this project, so that you are not just putting yourself. And then this question about the amounts, to be safe, you understand that I think there are 3 layers. The first one is clear. If you are going to create 70 jobs, we are up until 70 jobs, you can apply up until to 800,000. If you are applying for 40 jobs, let us not complicate things. You understand? They are saying 40. Why would you torture yourself to go 41, 42? You understand? Where are you placing yourself even? You understand? And the third layer, they are saying 300,000. You don't have to specify. Let us not complicate things. You understand? It's either you're targeting for the 70 jobs or you're targeting for, so that you know where are you placing yourself even. Or when you are placing yourself, OT, I'm applying for 50 jobs, then the numbers are there. Once you exceed 40, then it must speak to the next level. If you apply, you understand? Otherwise, we are going to complicate ourselves because we'll end up having artists that will say, I was applying for 500,000, but I've said I will do 42 jobs. And they might say, good, you are disqualified because we said the maximum for 40 jobs is 500,000. So please stick to their numbers and work around, work smart. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leader Tammy. President, do you want to add on that before I can read the questions on Facebook?
Leader, I can add. I won't repeat what Leader Tammy has dealt with a lot of things. Let me first acknowledge President Mungoma for the great job she's doing actually for the sector, and indeed we go through a lot for the sector, and a lot of practitioners we know. Sometimes we help a lot of people, and people still go when they want money, speak bad about us. But you see, we are more resilient because we were not made by money. Literally that time, we're activists, you know. Unfortunately, some of us is like a disease. We can't help it without fighting for the sector. We can't allow to be compromised, watching. No, we appreciate these leaders for being selfless, and let me thank Tops as well for words of encouragement. We appreciate. We are not fly-by-night organizations. We are organizations. I remember when we started Archive, Libopa Lady, it started as Archive where we were fighting for artists in Limpopo. When we're not included, we're young, you know. So we said no. And you won't believe that where we formed this organization. So we said, no, we can't agree with this thing of being systematically refused opportunities because we are young. They were only using celebrities in Limpopo, and when they do festival, they do not even include Limpopo artists. And fortunately, when we went last week, the MEC invited us where they were launching Mapungubia. They apologized to us to say, guys, now the Limpopo music is all over the world. We understand what you were fighting for when you said we must prioritize local Limpopo artists. We were fighting for 70-30, saying in every province, 70% of the artists must be from that province and 30 must be these big names. You know, so it's because of this kind of resilience and fight that doors are going to open. And thank you, Tabs, for that. I think Tabs, the issue of the employee breakdown, it was discussed. Yeah, I think leader Tammy dealt with it, but also in the video it was discussed. Look, with the NAC, they don't mind you adding the people. Like like even if you are alone in the company, remember you can't do a project alone. You must have a committee of people of 4 or 5 that you work with. Unlike organizations like Sakai, where there's a proper leadership, but you can add anyone that you want to work. It's up to you. You can change if you want. But to make life easier, you can just add the same people. So you also ask project details. Is there a limit or more? Okay. No, I think in terms of the issues that you can select when you are there were the right impact. Ne? The impact is based on your proposal. What were not you want your project to impact? Are you strictly targeting at people, community living with disability, or artists, youth, women? So you're not limited. It's up to you. You can have one, you can have two. It's always good though to have more. If you can have all of them, you can, because there are projects that caters for all of those. I think that was the issue that was outstanding. In terms of Lebohani, yeah, pictures. I wanted to show you something. Leader Tami has been speaking all along, Lebza, about the issue of pictures. So the issue of pictures, what we do normally as Sakai when we apply for funding, you see, actually this issue you raised, Lebohang, is very important because a lot of artists, they make a mistake because they make things messy when they're applying for funding. You will find you put 30 or 20 pictures one by one, you see. And when you put those 20 or 30 pictures one by one, imagine I'm evaluating, I'm sitting, I'm using a computer. I have to open each. You see, it takes time. Sometimes people are being declined by that because one person, there's a possibility that one person, especially under multidisciplinary, they are going to evaluate 1,000 application. So your work will speak for yourself, and they will always go with the people who are taking themselves serious. So what we do ourselves, we know we've got a lot of pictures, so we select the ones we want to use. Then we do a collage, like what our leader Tami say. Then we're going to then put these pictures like this. I'm trying to show this thing. Then we will put our pictures in a Word document, colleagues. Simple. We copy pictures in the Word document, we level them up nicely, and we put a Word document so that a person who's going to evaluate does just open this Word document. Mara, no, we don't attach a Word document, we attach a PDF. Because you never know how people are evaluating your proposal. Some they are using phones, and you find your Word document doesn't open in a phone. So we put a PDF like this. If you look at this document, this is one of the film projects we have done in Eastern Cape. So you see our pictures. If it's a film project we're applying, was a training that we do. You can see we've got our memorandum, we've got everything there. This is the youth we're training. So this is order. This order here, you see. So this is the kind of thing that you need to do. You need to take your proposals and your work very serious, colleagues, because remember, a person just want to see the work you are doing on the field. I encourage all artists to put your pictures like this, colleague. Don't be fooled by people saying Sakai is doing nothing, including Minister Mackenzie. Now we're working. We can even go to Parliament and present. He will collapse there because he thinks we are not doing anything because they're always targeting us because we are fighting for the sect. We won't stop fighting for the sect. Even when we are Madalas, we'll stand up with our, what do you call this thing, Palit? All these sticks standing up there and fighting for the sect. Because we are doing our work. And fortunately, we have got every report from 2015. So people take us for granted, thinking we just keep quiet because we don't want to talk too much. So this is the work we're doing. So the work is there. Show people that you are doing this work. We are training people on a daily basis. This is the deputy president there as well. So that's how you must put your pictures, colleagues. Clearly, nicely, orderly so, like what we've been doing, because people can see your work. But if you put one by one, nobody will be able to give your work attention. I think on the pictures, that was the issue there. And can the person, okay, I think Leader Tami answered that very well, of a person being alone. And the one for Leader Mjaji, yeah. Leader Mjaji, look, remember when we met with the NAC, they are saying that they are looking for, normally when you apply for funding, they are looking for proposals that create more jobs. It's a competitive process. So if you want to be funded, you must always try to create more jobs, because it's possible to create more jobs in terms of this particular project, because there's different jobs that you can create. So don't fight just to say if you can create more, because imagine if somebody is doing similar stuff like you and they're creating more jobs. The issue can be actually different because the people are gonna say, this one man is doing the same thing but is creating more jobs. It's a competition. It's a competitive process. So now you look at yourself, Mara. Also, the time is right. Don't overburden yourself. Just fight for creating make your concept unique, guys. Guys, these days there's a lot of things online. You need to research because another problem I've seen with ourselves is that you are applying for a visual arts program, but when you look at your budget, you are talking about a music thing or you're talking about a dance thing. Please, guys, like I said, research. You see, you guys are you're not like us. You're not helping many people. You're helping yourself, and we're also helping you. So you've got time. As we're helping almost 1,000 people every day. Fortunately, we've got more hands around the provinces. Yes, there's a person who asked about the issue of letter of reference. Yes, we do write letters of reference. You tell us your province so that we can talk to our provincial leaders to assist you with the letters of reference. So our job is to help you leaders and artists. So we are not fly by night organization. Don't listen to these politicians who they want to enjoy your money in peace without disturbances. So we are the necessary irritation in their life as long as they come to this sector. So if you want to let us talk to us, those who've got our WhatsApp number will tell you the leader in the province. Leader Pallet is also here, is writing a lot of letters and is the national coordinator. So he's going to be able to assist you to get a letter for your province. And we told these guys, Sakai, we've got more than 100,000 artists who are part of our social in platforms of Sakai. So they're not going to be surprised when they see letters coming from Sakai. I mean, unfortunately, we can't help it. Even if myself and Wopalid want to kill Sakai, we can't because this thing is there, is alive. Thank you, Dapalit.
Thank you, President. I'll read questions and statements from Facebook because there's this other statement from Rita M, which I believe that will reach out to her. She's saying our program for people living with disability has never been approved, but they say they are prioritizing uh, disability people who live with disability. This is the statement. I think we should.
That will Rita M.
Yes. Yeah, we will reach out to her. There's another one. There's this one. It's Andile. Evening. I just joined late. I'm in the Eastern Cape. I've been rejected by NAC more than 10 times. They tell us to appeal, but the email we appeal to never responds. Some of the rejection made no sense. I think. Then the other one is evening. I would like to ask about manual application. So this one application form. They want to know if there's a manual application forms.
And who's the person?
Is Lavidonia
Okay.
Pelo. Lavidonia Pelo. Then Andile again. My question is, what recourse do we have when the appeal process does not work and there is a fund NAC take out that has no appeal process? Is there even legal? Is that even legal? You cannot take our money and not have an appeal process. But please save this life. Oh, good. Another one from Real Man. Greeting leaders, I have been listening to you. So now, what if you want to apply for yourself as an individual or a group, but you don't have proper documents? Thanks. I think we'll just restructure the question. He just need more information about how to go about when you want to apply. And then next question from Swart. Yeah. When you have received funding and have done with the money, you're supposed to do you give feedback to the department? This question is complicated. I think you want to know about the reporting process, because the grammar there is not making sure, but then I think you want to know what happens when you got funded. Do you have to report back? I think that's what they want to know. I think I covered everything on on Facebook. There's also another question on chat box. Let me quickly read it. Thank you. No, not this one. What did I say? Oh, from Leader Tamani. Thank you, leadership. Or Tamani in Gauteng, in terms of NPC, do they need to all the applicants' ID and CVs as well, or only the two or the lead? You want to know if when you apply with the NPC, do they need all the compliance document from the three registered people on the NPC certificate?
Okay. No, yeah, thank you, leader. I think we're done because of also time. We've got 3 hours on this webinar. Yeah, no, I think thank you, Sister Rita M. I know Sister Rita M. Indeed, she's working with artists with disabilities, and from Gauteng. No, we have raised that issue. If you know, we are working with Leader Lele to advocate for artists living with disability. So we did raise that issue at the NAC, and they are going to look into it. I think ourselves, our job is to assist you, assist your people, so that the application still is on point and everything. But I'll reach out to you since I have your numbers. We'll be able to deal with that one. But the NAC is going to prioritize those particular applicants as well. So, Andile, okay, Andile, you are very correct. The NAC they were not having appeal for PESP, but the public protector has forced them to say they must have the appeal. In fact, you got it right, because there was no need for them to not have appeal, because these are public funds, and people, when they are denied, they must have a chance to challenge. So this year, PESP has an appeal. We don't know the budget. And we'll actually engage them when we meet them regarding them not responding to the artist, so that they respond to this appeal. I think the other challenge, they were taking the appeal to the department, which was wrong, because the NAC board is there, it's empowered by the act to act on behalf of the NAC. A real man is very simple to apply. As an individual, you're gonna need your compliance that we mentioned, like your ID copy, 2 letters of references, and all those things that we've mentioned earlier on. If you can watch the webinar, Leader Tammy dealt with them very well when they were showing the picture, and also they are returning the guideline, because we're encouraging artists to read the guidelines first, so that they know everything. To start, in terms of, yeah, when you get funded, when you do a project, you apply for the project, then they announce the results. They ask you, they won't give you mostly the amount you want. You do revision, you send back, they send you the contract, you sign, then they pay you 80% or 90% or 70, the NAC, because they can't give you all the money. People run away with the money without doing the work. Then after you have done the work, you must prove that you have done the work through pictures, videos, and collage that Leader Tammy spoke about. You must show that you have paid people in terms of the invoices and the proof of bank account. You must show how many people you have employed. Then after that, it's when you're gonna have to do a report. So if you are not good with administration, you must reach out to people who are experts to help you to implement your project, so that you don't miss your or lose your last tranche, and you pay them to do your admin reporting or project management. Yeah, that is the process that you can follow, but it's not difficult. You see, you have the things that they need. Leader Tamani, NPC is like a company, so you don't necessarily need all the directors. You just need the 2 people that they need for the company, or organizational requirement when you put in the NAC. So they just need the main director, and if you got 3 in the NPC, you can use 2 of them. Yeah, so I think we're done, Leader Paledi. I think we must be closing the meeting. I think let me take this opportunity just to.
For one more question, they sent it is the last question. It's from Mbale Nyama Radebe. Greeting leaders, we have been in the business of arts since 2013, and we have been created economical platforms such as Soweto Art and Craft Fair, 7 Color Sundays, Soweto Art Week, just to mention a few. What is the cause of being rejected when all these platforms create employment and skills development? Please advise.
Yeah, I think I know those programs. I think it's the same thing of how the leaders are putting their concept into the GMS or the applications, because sometimes, yes, you see, to do things practically and putting them on paper for somebody sitting in an office to understand, it's a bit difficult. I think they just need to look into the issue of the compliance, and maybe they look into the issue of drafting their concept in terms of what we presented. If they can check that part, we're doing the GMS. Yeah, because also that's what I was saying. With the GMS must be clear, straight to the point, but addressing what the guidelines are saying. They must read the guidelines and look at their concept. It sounds like they're doing a lot of multidisciplinary projects, and we're willing to advise when they are when they are done with their application. Because remember, with NAC, you don't submit a proposal, so you are going to write what you are saying you are doing on a GMS, and then somebody must read. So there's about 4 people who are going to evaluate one application, which is a good thing, because they're gonna all have to be giving the points to those applications. So if your concept is good, so if you get 3 only, you are fine. You are actually supported. So a lot of people, obviously, I've always said that they struggle with converting their great creative idea into the paperwork. Unfortunately, we're in a system that has always favored the whites and so on. But I encourage them to watch this webinar and reach out to us if there's any challenges that they are experiencing. Thank you, Leader Palidi. Can I close the meeting? I wanted to just say a few words. Let me take this opportunity to thank all the artists around the country who were part of this webinar. We know we still have a meeting, myself and President Ngoma, after this, which we don't want to do it too late on behalf of the artists to push the same programs. So now, colleagues, we are very grateful that we had a webinar for 3 hours, which has been viewed on Facebook by 1,000 artists around the country. Sitting at 1K, we have got 28 comments and 22 shares. We are really, really grateful. Meaning, or even tomorrow, by the end of the application, this webinar might be reaching about 5,000 and so on, which means we all did well. Let's clap hands for ourselves. And we have the great number of attendants on the Zoom as well, where we reached more than 70 participants. So I just want to thank everybody who was part of this. I hope, colleagues, this was very fruitful to everyone. And please, you must comment on our webinars. We do webinars here. Southsafe does webinars. Artists benefits a lot from these webinars. They don't comment on these webinars. And you are doing these webinars for free because we are not greedy. We don't have to do these webinars, by the way, colleagues. Mara, we do them because we are not greedy. We want people to all benefit. We want people to know the skills that some of the people have, so that these resources are able to be shared by many people. So I'm going to quickly recognize Leader Palida. Can you use a chairperson recognize Leader Sibongile Mngoma, Leader Tami, and Leader Godongwane to have a few bite briefly? I know Godongwane, you like to speak a long man. You must be brief now. Then you just to the parting words, and then the Deputy President, if he's still around, he will close. If he's not around, you will close, Leader Palida. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, leaders, for taking your time and attending this seminar and for asking relevant questions. If we keep this unity that leader Swangila was talking about yesterday in our meeting when they did the briefing, we can go far. And we don't have much. As archive, we'll always make sure that we put the artists first, even before ourselves, because we've been doing this forever. And then I feel like and I believe that we are reaching where we want to go. With those few words, I want to acknowledge everyone, and I'll give you leader President Ngoma to give closing remarks, and then after then I'll take it from there. Thank you, President.
Thank you very much, sir. I guess mine is to just say thank you so much, President Romeo, and thank you very much, Leader Tommy, and thank you everyone for attending these Zooms. Your presence means that there's a reason for us to continue doing these webinars, and for all the people watching online, thank you so much for always supporting and always being present, because we are not doing this for us. As you well know, we will be victimized, but as long as you guys get sorted out, till now we'll figure ourselves out. We'll figure out how to keep going. We will never sleep without food. We will never not have a roof over our heads, but we have to make sure that everybody else is okay. So I want to say thank you, President of the Young People, as I call him. You're a really good person, and I've seen you firsthand. You care for people, and keep it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Ngoma. Leader Mutata.
Thank you, Chair. Okwami nje ukuthi the days of artists being exploited, they are over. Let's wear our boots, let's wear our overalls, and the presidents that are the ones that are presiding over us will give marching orders. So we fight to the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Leader Tammy.
Oh, sorry. Firstly, thank you very much to you, Chairperson. You've been a wonderful chairperson. I really enjoy your leadership in terms of sharing this session, and definitely show to President Romeo and the entire South Archive leadership for this engagement. To President Sibongile Mngoma, to SACIF leadership and membership. Thank you very much. You understand? I think the two structures, SACIF and SACIF, with their S, are really showing the industry general, look, it's possible to work together. We understand. And my message to the sector, we understand. We need, I always say this, we are allowed to agree to disagree. We understand, but it does not mean we are enemies. There are so many things that I personally disagree totally with President Romeo or President Sibongile Mngoma, we understand. But we find a way of saying, here we agree to disagree, but for the sector, because the sector must be the winner, we understand. You've never seen me criticizing President Mngoma or President Ramwata on social media or in public. We understand we disagree in our way, but what we want for the sector. So I will encourage other practitioners out there. We understand. Let us not show the enemy the system that we want to fight. We understand that when we disagree, we will find each other somewhere. We understand. And this session was really helpful. And please apply. Please seek for advice to other people. You understand? Many artists must receive this thing. Don't be jealous with others when they get the funding. We understand? Let's keep fighting the system to make sure more people are getting this fund. Let's keep making sure people are not going to be penalized because they're fighting the system and they are not going to get the funding. When you get the funding, employ other people, make sure the sector is a winner. Tango.
Thank you so much, Leader Tammy. Thank you very, very much. I'll close by saying nothing about us without us, like Leader Tammy will say. I hope I don't close anyone out. With these few words, I say thank you so much. We are closing them.
Did you check the DP if he's still around?
No, he's not around.
Okay, no.
Yes, he's not around. I'll officially close this meeting. Please close the windows when you leave, and put the chairs nicely. Thank you.
Thank you.